got to tell you real quick that the mustache, because I'm used to seeing you with sort of like a stubble or a beard or something with the mustache. The mustache by itself and the glasses, and I know you have long hair, but it's all tied back in a ponytail. Don't take this the wrong way, man. You look like you look like Jeffrey Dahmer right now.
Yeah, that's the only downfall. Is like very few people can really pull off the mustache well. Like you get a mustache like this, and you're like, man, you know, I gotta be like Brad Pitt from Inglourious Bastards, and then you just kind of realize, you know, you change your outfit just slightly, and you're like, no, now I just look like 70s serial killer / rapist / pedophile.
You just got to let the hair grow out long again, or maybe if you don't have it in a ponytail, just have it out. Maybe it'll look like, I don't know.
I only had a ponytail because I was working out, but then it's like, but yeah, that's just the one. Well, the worst part too is I had like a bandana on because I was working out too, and then that just looks fucking weird. Well, I wanted to grow out the Matt Hardy beard because, you know, I like to sport all sorts of different types of beards and so on. You know, I had the Wolverine mutton chops going for a long time, which is always, that's one you just get like a constant amount of compliments from. I don't know if people just kind of go like, man, I wish I could grow that out, but, you know, my lady won't let me do it, or my boss says that I'm, you know, a faggot or something like that. Like, because I like
mutton chops in this propane outlet.
Well, I feel it's like you either look like Wolverine or you look like a president from the 1800s.
Yeah. Wolverine could have been president in the 1800s. We don't fucking know. He lived a long life.
Yeah, he did. But yeah, no, I'm like waiting to like have to grow it back out again. The good thing about me though is I can like grow a full beard in like a week, like a good looking one.
I'm like a chia pet. Just add water, just like right out.
Yeah, that's why we can sport the old man orange look really well. Just get a beard and just go.
Yeah, I mean, for a while I was trying to be the clean shaven guy, but then people like I literally heard like, you know, well, it's quite simple. The more I heard, more just simple enough. For a while I didn't like having a beard because I didn't like taking care of it. I'm just like, I'll just shave it. It's easier that way. But then I just heard more and more women say, you know what, I like beards. All right, fuck it, I'll grow out a fucking beard. And there's this one girl I was talking to, this one from a friend of mine. She's really nice. But I heard her say one of the most judgmental things. It was kind of like when I had a beard coming in. She's like, yeah, you know, and she's like a really nice, sweet person. But she said this so harshly. She was like, yeah, you know, girls usually like it when guys have beards. Because if you don't have a beard, you're just like some like fucking prepubescent asshole. It's like, oh, Jesus, okay.
If you feel that way, then.
Like they see a guy in his 20s with no beard, like, there's one! You know?
Get the boy.
A bunch of ladies like in a fucking like pickup truck go like driving down like, whoa, yeah, get him!
A bunch of like Leatherman cheerleader jackets on.
Yeah.
Well, I have to say, today I realized something. In all my years of buying DVDs, in over 1,500 or so purchased, including VHSs, Blu-rays, and Laserdiscs, I finally made the mistake of rebuying a movie that I thought I didn't own.
That hasn't happened to me yet. I almost did, but
oh man, for years I thought I'm so surprised it hasn't happened because I've met people that have like a DVD collection of 200 and they don't know what they own, and I'm like, I was so proud. I'm like, I know them all, like, and that's like, if there's one thing I remember, it's my DVD collection. That's the one thing that's always stays true. But you know, it was about a couple weeks ago. I was listening to Brian Salisbury's podcast,
Junk Food
Cinema, and they're talking about adventures in babysitting. And I was like, you know, man, I haven't seen that movie in a long time. That's a great movie. I'm like, I think the last time I watched it was probably either at Ryan's or Cisco's or somebody else's house. So I went out and bought that movie. And then today I went just to go put it away in my collection, and I go, it's sitting right there. It's the first time it's ever happened. Now, this might not sound like much to some people out there, but anybody who has a giant collection, they're very proud of it. That there comes a point, though, when you go, damn it, I rebought something. No, I've rebought stuff before where it's like, oh, there's RoboCop, the 2-disc super special edition. Well, hell yeah, I gotta have that. I mean, I already got the regular one, but, you know, fuck that regular one now. This one's in a gold tin case.
It's legit.
But, yeah, or like when you buy a movie over on Blu-ray or whatnot, or so on. But I've never done that before, where I just bought the same thing, identical version, over again.
I almost rebought Cowboy Bebop on Blu-ray, the whole series, but
well, that's different.
I'm pretty sure that's going to drop down in price pretty soon, so I'm just going to wait that one out a little bit, because now that thing's a huge, like, before it was a cult thing, it still is a little bit of a cult thing, but it's a lot more well-known now. When people say anime, that's one of the first things people bring up, so at least Americans bring up, so I think that I'm going to wait for the price to drop on that. But that almost happened to me, rebuying the same DVD. That almost happened. I literally went over, I was like do I have Die Hard 4? I had to stop and think about it for a minute. Like, yes, I don't have 3. That's the one I don't have.
Yeah, I did that before too, where I get confused. I'm like, when I have a bunch of a series or something, and I go, crap, which one? Like, I've even made the phone call before where I was like at the pawn shop looking for stuff, and it was like South Park seasons. I'm like, which one am I missing? Is it like 8 or 9? I called up like, hey, can you check my DVD collection?
You call Laura, like, Laura, just run upstairs real quick. Do me a favor.
There's something really important you must check on. But I've never done that before in anything else. I've never rebought CDs accidentally, never rebought video games accidentally or comics. But that was the first time. I feel it's kind of like a downfall. It's like, from here, Alzheimer's kicks in, you die, it's all over.
Might as well just start burying a grave for yourself. Like, Laura goes, Spencer, what are you doing? Well, it just hit me. Today's episode 200, and I rebought a DVD, so everything's
digging a grave.
I'm just preparing. I'm trying to make it easy for you guys.
Digging a grave for myself, that's what I'm going to do. Maybe shoot myself in the head or slit my wrist right here.
I can't think of a rhyme for that, but still kind of catchy.
Yeah, but I don't know. Oh, just those things of life.
I'm still a little surprised we're just at episode 200 right now. I know that's probably the main theme of today's show. It's almost a little bit, I'm not going to lie, I almost kind of feel like whenever we're going to do a show like this, which is, it's not really any different from any other show when it gets right down to it, but whenever we do a show like this, it almost feels kind of like somewhere in our first 2 months of podcasting where you kind of come in and get a little nervous, like, we should do something. What are we going to talk about? And it's like, well, it's episode 200. I mean, should we have something big and flashy and whiz-bang? But no, we don't. We're just going to talk about, like, so, well, how about the same DVD? Yeah, well, I don't like my beard. I don't like my beard, but I have to have it, you know.
I know, because I remember, like, episode 100, we felt like, we got to do something big. We got to bring on some guests that nobody really knows of, but, you know, at least we'll have multiple people going on. We'll make it seem like a party. And this one's just
we wanted it. Well, it was like we brought on Nora, who was frequently on the show, back in the day, yeah. And now I like to get her back on at some point, but just, you know, people are busy. Had Nora on, and then we always mentioned our friend Kyle. She's like, we got to bring Kyle on. We got to bring Kyle on. Guess what? We brought Kyle on. Like, okay, that's big, cool for you guys, but we don't know who Kyle
the only
is.
people that care is like our local listeners, maybe, and then that's still just a maybe.
Well, and even I'm gonna say, like, I was looking around in Sonora for like a little before I moved. I was looking around online, Sonora-based podcasts, Tuolumne County-based podcasts. There's one older than us.
Who's older than us? Oh, is it that book club one or the fucking?
There's a sewing one. There's a
sewing one. Yeah, but does the sewing one still go on? Come on.
I believe it does. I believe that it does. I haven't checked it in a while, but I remember I was sitting on the toilet just thinking, are there any other Sonora-based podcasts? And I was looking through that. Yeah, there's this sewing podcast that they beat us. It's like Stitch and Sew or something like that. You can probably just type in Sonora podcast sewing. It'll probably pop up, but yeah.
Huh. But I bet you don't get 200 episodes of like pure comedy gold.
I'll say maybe like 150 pure comedy gold. The other's
there's always a couple of ones that you're just kind of like, hey, we're here to talk about.
Or 125 of comedy. Not, I won't gold, but okay, comedy.
Yeah, you know? There you go.
Bearable. There was just imagine like we're gonna do the Sonora crossover, and then we just go like, hey, so what's your favorite anime? Like, well, I was just sewing the other day, and it was rather pleasant. Okay, you know how to sew the Batman symbol? No, I never. Well, I probably could, but I haven't done that. Okay. What's the most fucked up movie you ever seen?
What's the most fucked up thing you ever sewed?
Yeah. I guess I sewed a bear once. It was kind of scary looking. Like, oh.
Was it a Nazi bear?
Was Nazi bear eating something? Was it fucking something? No, it was just a bear. Like,
Was it in space?
Yeah. On a rocket ship? Rocket ships kick ass.
Well, this sort of fits into our secondary theme of the show, if not primary theme. But in, Batman news, I was typing in, I was looking for something Batman, and then this came up. I don't know if you ever ran across this or if we ever talked about the podcast and just don't remember by this point, because, after that DVD buying thing, we could have talked about anything. But do you know there's a town in Turkey called Batman?
Yeah, there's actually about right around the time Dark Knight Rises came out, or right before it came out, that town actually tried to sue Christopher Nolan, DC Comics, and Warner Brothers all at once for saying they stole everything from our town, and then
Well, the funny thing though is that town that town was named after Batman came out though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it was like in the 50s or something. They changed it. Now there was a river called Batman apparently prior, so that's what it's all based off of. But you know for a fact that they said, "Hey, that DC Comics thing's popular. Let's name our town Batman."
Probably. Well, the 50s is when it was was when Batman was in not doing so well in the comics. It was before the Adam West show was out. So maybe it was just coming there and it's like a big deal there. Maybe.
Yeah, because because a lot of those areas they didn't get Batman right away anyway. So talk about supposed to have Batman, but yeah, there was the Batman River, which had been around for God knows how long, but.
Yeah, but they tried to sue like Warner Brothers and a couple of DC writers saying you stole that from us. And it was just simple. It's like, fuck you, because here's a record of history that this shit's been out longer, and so fuck off.
Yeah, it's just such a weird one. But it's just kind of fun. There's a town called Batman. It's like it'd be awesome if they just really embraced it and they're like, you know what? Let's just put statues of Batman up, and have everything.
Have a bat symbol go up every night.
Be like, because how Angel's Camp's all like frog themed and shit. Like, just picture like a town like that, but just there's like Batman. It's like there's a Batman mural on the wall, and there's a Batman statue there, and there's Batman, hopping across with somebody like throwing quarters at him.
Yeah, just like Batman everywhere, like the church. It's just they just like plaster Batman's face on Jesus on the cross.
It's just Batman hanging from the cross and everything. Just everywhere you go, it's just something Batman or Robin or Nightwing or Joker oriented, just everywhere. How sweet would that be? That's what they should do. They should embrace that like nobody's business.
We're saying this is like two Americans that never been there.
No, I've never been there, but I'll tell you what would make it better.
Yeah. Just build. It's probably some small little town too. I doubt it's an actual city. I bet it's a small little town. If I had to guess,
I bet you it's like Angel's Camp. And Angel's Camp's all frog based because they got the national frog jump.
Just throwing a few skyscrapers. Maybe there's one alley. You actually have Crime Alley. You have a chalk outline of two bodies that are always there. Yeah,
and then like some roses and stuff that sit there, so that Batman's been there.
Mm-hmm. Every night, it's somebody's job to go out and place new roses there.
But
you can just like always be posing there, like, "Hey!" Imagine that. Like, I wonder if Gotham City, if that would be kind of like, "Hey guys, this is the historic place where Martha and Thomas Wayne died," and Bruce is like brooding. He just got done with the job. He's going there, and now it's a tourist attraction. You got like someone laying down a chalk outline, saying where his parents fucking died.
Well,
selfie that shit.
It'd be like the sweet thing that they should do. It's like because. The first time you ever hear that, like, there's the DC stuff themed at, like, Six Flags, you really expect it to be almost like Universal Studios where everything's themed in that way. And then you kind of get there and you're like, well, there's a roller coaster called Batman. It's blue. And you're like, that's it? Well, there's a bat symbol on, the front. Oh, that's it?
There's a gift shop.
But it'd be so cool, though, is if you just had a DC theme park where each land was kind of like you went to Gotham City, or you went to Metropolis, or you went to Oa, or you went to...
Yeah, we talked about this. We talked about we would make it be like ghetto, would be like falling apart and all that.
Yeah, exactly, because we'd have to piece it together.
We'd have to piece it together. There would be... You would go to the... to the Fortress of Solitude. It'd just be guys in cage... And like guys in like rubber suits, like in their... in like Superman's like space suit. Like, let me out of here! Like, oh yeah, it's fucked up, right? It came from space. Moving on. Yeah, I always loved that. That would be a cool thing to do, but I mean, that could happen someday. I mean, we talked about before. They're building Nintendo Land, at least the Nintendo section of the of Universal Studios. They're making a full-on Star Wars land. So, I mean, Batman could happen. So, or like at least a DC theme park could happen in time. Eventually, Disney will get around to doing Marvel Land eventually, or at least a Marvel section.
Yeah, no, they'll have all those sweet things. And it's always an interesting one where some people don't like theme parks that much. They like more like the ride section. And I've always like, you can sell me on the theme. That's why I like Universal Studios so much. You go there and there's a whole Jurassic Park area. Come on, how cool is that?
I think as long as you like the theme. I think the reason why some people are kind of like, yeah, I grew up on Disney, but I'm fucking done with that shit. I want some fucking rides. So now you go back and say, like, you can hang out at Mickey Mouse's house. Can I fuck on the bed? No, I don't give a shit. And they leave. So I think now I think most people when they get older, I mean, if you still always kind of like certain like, if you still like Disney and you still like certain things, you probably like that. I guess it just depends on the theme when it's new, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I think that's really it, because you take some of there, it's like, I fucking hate Universal movies. And you're like, then what are you doing here? Like, I don't know, I thought there was going to be fucking roller coasters and shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's the thing. So I think if you have more...
Just some guy, like, on the boat, just like, Jaws is so fake! Fake!
The part when the cart like kind of tips the side, Jaws pops up and just munching it down. Just the guy still arms crossed, just looks like fuck you. Just the whole time, just arms crossed. Goes by
King Kong. He's just like, that was gay.
Yeah. Godzilla was better. Godzilla should have won.
I mean, just saying, you all agree with me, right?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, King Kong's cool, but that guy does have a point. I haven't agreed with this guy the entire time, and I don't know why he's on every ride we fucking happen to be on. But yeah, Godzilla is a little bit cooler than King Kong. I mean, just saying.
The one time I went to Universal Studios, remember we went by off in the distance, there was the Psycho House, this really important piece of film history. Just goes by that, movie's fucking stupid, didn't even see her tits before she died, Just this guy, just impossible to impress. And then you go by I remember another thing went by, the go-karts from Little Rascals. Oh, that's fucking sick, bro!
He gets out and just starts driving him around.
Yeah, race! Just takes off. Wow, that's never happened before. I'm surprised these things have enough gas in them. Okay, well,
exactly. Nobody seems to be that excited about the Little Rascals section. I don't know why that seems to strike a fancy of him. He's like, the Little Rascals are the fucking shit.
Doing donuts right there, look
at me, Mom. I'm buckwheat.
He's 35. Yeah, I know. Just let him have it.
He's 35 and he's like a ginger kid. How does he relate so well to buckwheat? I don't know. It's the only thing that he's ever liked in life was Little Rascals. Everything else he thinks is gay.
I remember going on that tour thing and we're just seeing the Little Rascal things. Like, oh, that's kind of cool. That movie was made for me. It was made for us that time. And they're all their race car they're all little go-karts they had in the movie just lined up. Yeah, that's what all the kids sat in and raced in. I was like, that's nice. As a kid, there'd be that thing where if you saw a spot in the movie, you would be kind of like, I was there. I was seeing that. I was in that play. You know what I mean? That you'd have that. If there was somewhere in a movie and you've been there, you would get this awestruck, somebody I know is in TV kind of thing. But I'm just literally going by those race car tracks. Yeah, I even liked that movie and just being kind of huh, okay.
Oh, damn. Well, I think
Jaws.
It's hard to be impressed after you just saw Jaws and King Kong.
I think that was earlier on in the thing, though. I think that was early. Maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe it was, but that's. I
can't imagine it's still there. They probably got to rotate that. They got to rotate that shit out. I'm assuming.
Yeah, I mean the classics are going to be there, but there's some things that kind of get by the by. I mean they rotate out Back to the Future, so you can go figure.
What they rotated Back to the Future out, which is just heartbreaking, with the Simpsons ride, and then Simpsons is no longer. I don't think the Simpsons ride's even there anymore.
No, it's the Fast and the Furious now.
That just seems so kind of silly. I mean, I know you could do a Fast and Furious ride, but it just seems so silly to. I don't know.
Well, that's all I have to say is okay, I love Fast and Furious, one of my favorite movie series ever. But when it comes down to a ride, what is more exciting? Just driving in a regular car that you could do in real life? I mean, yes, of course, these are more expensive cars. Or going in a time machine? Come on, tell me what sounds way cooler. In a time machine that's a car.
I remember being blown away because I still loved Back to the Future stuff, but they always felt so limited. I mean, I still love them, and maybe the fact they're limited, that's kind of why I like them more now. But as a kid, I remember seeing them want to go to weirder, crazier places. Because the first one, it's okay, you're going back to the 50s. Second one, you're going into the future, just a little into the future. Then the third one, Wild West. And even though, I like Westerns, it's kind of I've seen a lot of Westerns. So, and don't get me wrong, I love all three of those movies. But it just seemed, the thing about the Back to the Future ride, though, it went all over the place. You went to prehistoric stuff. I don't remember them all, but I remember you went by a dinosaur. I remember that was a big shocker of it.
No, there was a lot of cool things in there. Because when I was a kid, I love Back to the Future, but the third one was my least favorite when I was a kid because I just remember thinking, going you have a time machine, you can go anywhere, and you go to a Western. I'm we got thousands of Westerns. I mean, there's so many possibilities. But as I got older, I actually liked Back to the Future 3 a lot because I think once you just kind of accept it, okay, it is a Western, and it makes sense, time wise, it's everything's based in 50-year increments or whatever it is, or no, it's 100 years back for that one. But it is that sort of thing where when you're a kid, though, you're just like, dude, why don't you go fucking Doc? Why don't you go visit like dinosaurs or shit? Like, you know, go like Knights of the Round Table or something like that, like or Robin Hood. Like, I mean, they did it in that Time Bandits movie with the midgets.
They used to the really dark Back to the Future movie, like Marty, there's the one place we gotta go, the one place they won't follow. Like, oh god, what's that, Doc? Auschwitz, you know. There, Gary Busey is still like some fucking bumbling like Nazi soldier.
Or just go there.
Still like somehow gets like, you know, they're out running.
It's not Gary Busey. It's
a Busey. It's a Busey, isn't it?
I don't think so.
I could have sworn that was a Busey.
No, I want to say that's no, yeah, he's not Busey, but he looks kind of like it.
He looks like a Busey. He has those teeth. What was the character's name? I gotta find this shit up now. I'm usually Biff. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Biff. I'm getting the Wikipedia definition. I'm looking for the character. All right. Biff Tannen, fictional character in Back to the Future trilogy. Thomas F. Wilson plays Biff. God, I got my whole fucking life now. For the last few years, I thought that was a Busey. I know. He has like the teeth and the facial structure. He's like a walking square. I don't mean that in like a 50s kind of like you know, slang. Like, man, he's such a square. I mean, he literally looks like a fucking walking square. That's a trademark of the Buseys.
Yeah. You know, it's kind of funny, speaking of our podcast-wise, I was just flipping through, looking the views, at least on YouTube views. The one we got the most amount of views on is when we went and saw Jay and Silent Bob Get Old live with Jay and Silent Bob's super groovy cartoon movie.
Mm-hmm.
We got like almost 3,000 views on that.
I bet the reason why is because...
Everybody probably thinks we had Kevin Smith on or something like that.
Just so, well, I mean, yeah, just like a real, like, you know, just, oh my god, they got him. Oh no, well, the first half they talk about whatever the fuck comes to mind, then they talk about the movie, and then one of them bitches about some of the other people asking questions at the fucking panel, you know, but no, I think it was probably because, like, that wasn't a movie that was really easy to see. You had to go to this thing, so people probably wanted to hear what it was about. So wasn't so much like any fan basis other than just like Kevin Smith people just looking to find out what the movie was like or what it was, or just clicking on it, seeing the title, clicking on it, and like, oh, this is just a fucking podcast, done, you know, going away.
Yeah, there's definitely always a lot of those, because I think a lot of people don't realize that. Sometimes I don't think they know what a podcast is, even if it's in the title.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why I'm glad Tusk actually kind of like brought, I mean, still a lot of people didn't see it, but I'm glad that Tusk, like, kind of, once again, Kevin Smith pointed out what podcast was and kind of explained what podcasts were.
Yeah, it's a good one to kind of have going on there. Mm-hmm. No, I was just kind of flipping through our old episodes and just looking at them and like, what did we talk about back in the day? And it's just always like movies or so on. Or then we got our good old famous Suicide Squad episode 2.
Oh, let's let it slide by. Let it slide by. The first two,
just like the old, it's not even 20 minutes long. That's like the shortest podcast we must have. Dude, our first episode was only 33 minutes long.
Yeah.
It's a mind blowing, because nowadays it's like the concept of having a podcast that's under an hour is hard to do.
Well, I guess it was one of those things when it first started, everything had to be like, okay, we had to watch a movie, we had to read a comic, we had to buy some album and talk about that album that just came out. And it all centered around just sort of reviewing, not kind of giving like a real strict review, like, I give this 4 thumbs up or whatever the fuck. You know, it was just more talking about what we thought about it. And if we went on a tangent on the side, that would happen. But then it kind of just, I want to say, I remember which one it was. It was actually episode 22, where the first time we went in with no set topic and just bullshitted. So now we're at this point where if we got something to talk about, yeah, sure, we'll throw in the title, like if it's a brand new movie or something. But generally, just kind of go in, talk about whatever.
Well, yeah, that's kind of...
And that's the first 21 episodes. It had like a set topic, would be a retrospect or us talking about, we just saw fucking Total Recall, the remake.
Well, the funny thing is, because episode 22, that's the first episode we have that's almost 2 hours long.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And before that, the first episode to breach 1 hour by 1 second was episode 15, which was our Batman retrospect.
Oh, boy. I remember we had a 2-part Sonic one, and I just remember, I don't know if I can go back and listen. I'm afraid to go back and listen to any of those, like...
early days ones. Dude, that Sonic, technically that Sonic one, if you combine it together, because it's 2 parts, but they're almost an hour each. Like, we went off on Sonic for a long time on there. I remember that one actually having some pretty funny moments in it. There was, like, you ranching about the werewolf for a while, but other than that, though, there was quite a bit going on.
Well, it's just one of those things where, I'm not going to lie, there are times in the show, we don't get political that much, but there are times in the show where we get a little political, and you tend to get a little bit more passionate about that stuff than I do. And I remember it was during the last election, and you were talking about how like racist and stupid some of the other candidates were, and you were just fuming. And then at some point, like just like to the point of just like you're just yelling, just not even like having fun anymore, just pissed off. And then
I went like full Chris for Titus.
You went full Chris Titus, yeah. And then I think in that moment I kind of thought back. The closest I got to that was talking about the fucking werehog from Sonic Unleashed. And like, I gotta put some shit in perspective. God damn.
I know that was the one where we like really like I remember just went on this like 20-minute rant or something like that. I think that was it'd almost be interesting to go back to listen to it just for like what the heck.
Audio commentary to a podcast. All right, now this right here.
That'd be fucking weird.
This right here, I was really just just like four voices over, you know. This right here, I was in a really bad mood this day. I had an energy drink. It was actually, I remember what energy drink I had because I had my usual energy drink. So this was actually Monster Refuel right here. I'm just used the Monster Fuse. Anyway, that reference right there, you know.
Yeah, just weird things like that.
I was thinking, what if there's that one. There's probably more than one documentary, but there's the main documentary about Adolf. I don't know how I made this transition right here, but I just
Adolf Hitler.
There's that one. There's like the one main documentary that is kind of like promoting Hitler back in the 40s. I was always kind of wondering, what would the audio commentary be like that? Like, okay, hello, this is Adolf Hitler, and I am Joseph Goebbels, and we're going to talk to you about the making of this film you're watching here. Okay, so if you look at the crowd here, this is actually shot on a Tuesday, but this next shot actually Monday. It was just a very overcast day. Lighting didn't come out like we hoped. If you look to the left, that is right there. I know I'm giving a Chinese accent.
I know. I was kind of thinking like, who shot this movie?
My German's slowly turning into a Chinese stereotype as I'm talking.
Well, I always think about, like, I remember, like, Compassion of the Christ. I was like, holy fuck, there's an audio commentary on here. And it turned out to be one of those ones where it's like a narration one for retarded people. It's like, right here, Jesus is climbing up on the cross. Or something like that. But I was waiting for it to be like, this scene was a fucking bitch to shoot. Jesus would just not stay up on that cross. He kept sliding down every single time. I had to call the crew back in to get him strapped up on there. And then every single time, he's fucking laughing. What a fucking ass.
Jim Caviezel, just stay where you fucking are. Quit being a bitch. Or just Hitler's just like Hitler being like, okay, if you look right here, you'll see the guy on the left. That is our sound designer, Bob. He did a really good job. Yes, he did, Hitler. He did. Yeah, too bad he was a Jew. We had to send him to Auschwitz after this. Anyway, so moving on, you know.
He served this country for one day, but then, you know, you got to put the dog down when you got to put the dog down.
Oh no, I understand. It was a PR nightmare, but we got through it. You know, the movie's here. It's getting good reviews. I mean, they have to give it good reviews, right? All right. Anyway, moving on.
Everybody high five. Yeah. Yes, but now you see that the shot here, we had a wild rodent run in there. We cannot have a wild rodent run into our shot. Now, when you say wild rodent, do you mean Jew? Well, it's all the same thing. Just like all these like horrible things.
I was trying to be, you know, PC about the whole thing, but you know how this goes. Yeah, I know.
You know, we have American followers too. We're not ashamed of it.
Old Walt. We love the Walt. He's that Snow White film he made. Oh, so good.
You can't have a movie called Snow Black, but Snow White, that's okay.
I guarantee if you put in like Snow Black, that's probably be some kind of like that's got to be some porn, I bet.
That or some black exploitation version of it.
Snow Black, like Pam Grier is Snow White, but she's like badass. She's like, I don't need no man to save me. Just pulls a shotgun out of her purse, blows the Wicked Witch away.
Just 7 black dwarves, and they're all like in a funk band.
Yeah, they're like, we need a lead singer. Almost sounds kind of like it almost sounds kind of like when Hanna-Barbera was trying to be really like kind of like hip and up to date. Like we got there's I don't remember what it was called.
The Ching Chang crew or whatever. What the fuck was
that? Is that really what it was called?
It's something like that. This was the one that's got all like the Asian family.
Yeah, it was a good Asian family of it was kind of a Scooby-Doo type thing. It was Asian family of these young hip Asian kids in America like trying to solve mysteries, but they still got to make it to the showtime, you know?
Yeah, that's what it was. I can't remember. Something that was like Ching Chang groups. It was something like really like. And I remember watching that as a kid because I watch everything Hanna-Barbera. That's almost like our other topic we seem to talk about a lot. It's like, back in the day of Hanna-Barbera.
There would be these like I remember it would be like that very standard Hanna-Barbera animation, but then they have the musical numbers. They'd have rotoscope animation for some of the characters. And I remember just seeing that was just so off-putting and kind of weirded me out. I don't know why. Because they look so stiff and your standard kind of like Scooby-Doo style motion, like upper body just stiff, arms might be kind of moving left and right, and then legs kind of like almost that Sonic the Hedgehog like speed wheel as they go by really quickly. You know what I mean? And then they have this really well rotoscope animation, all the musical numbers, just like, what the fuck is going on? You know, it really fucked with my mind when I was a kid. So.
And that's one of the ones. It's been a long time since I've seen that show. Hell, I can't remember the title exactly. I just know it's somewhere. Here we go. 70s Hanna-Barbera. Come on, you got to have it in here. Not Skatebirds, not Justice League, not Popeye Hour, not Casper. Okay, I went too far if I got to the Pebbles and Bam Bam
Pebbles
show.
and Bam Bam? That's like 80s.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Hold the phone here. What the fuck is that? Why is there not like a nice list on fucking Wikipedia for it?
Maybe it wasn't really Hanna-Barbera. Maybe it was something trying to be Hanna-Barbera. I mean, I want to...
Here it goes. It's the Amazing Chan and Chan Clan.
Amazing Chan and Chan Clan.
Okay, so it's a 60s show. It's not even a 70s.
That seems all right. I mean, it's kind of like seems taking a step forth, taking a step back. Like, okay, we got a show in the 60s focusing on an Asian family. That's the pros. The bad side, it's exactly what you think it is. Stereotype as fuck.
But it's at that time period in the 60s where it's like it's not considered like stereotype. And like nowadays it is. But like at that point it was just like, hey, there's never been an Asian kid, kids cartoon on American TV before. So it's almost groundbreaking.
Yeah. But at the same time, if you compare it to other things, it's kind of like taking a step back. Like read the quick synopsis. I think we covered it, but just read the quick synopsis.
Okay, this is what it is. The Amazing Chan and the Chan Clan.
Chan and the Chan Clan.
The Amazing Chan and the Chan Clan, sometimes abbreviated as the Amazing Chan Clan, is a 30-minute Saturday morning animated series produced by Hanna-Barbera Cartoons. Animated by Eric Porter, whatever. It was animated in Australia, so you know it's going to be even more racist if that's the case. And broadcast on CBS. Blah, 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 blah. It's actually got Chinese actors in it, though. Wait.
That's good.
No, the voice of Mr. Chan is the only Chinese actor to play in the show.
Casey Kasem voices everybody else.
Yeah, exactly. In the overview, in the series, Mr. Chan, whose first name is never given except for in one episode, his children and their dog Choo Choo solve mysteries around the city. With the children,
a little pal, isn't it? Isn't the dog a little pal or chat chow or something like that?
Yeah, it's something like that. With the children helping the father in every episode, or at least trying to. They traveled in a van which could be transformed into other vehicles, much like Hong Kong Phooey's Phooey-mobile, courtesy of the Chan's fourth son, Alan, mechanical genius. The push of a button. Courtesy to the fact that they're a bunch of Asians building shit, that's why it happens. The older children also have a musical group, the Chan Clan. Every episode featured a song either being played over the action or while the characters playing various instruments and performing. I remember like that was always kind of how it was because they really they exploited the Scooby-Doo style like so badly in like Hanna-Barbera.
We talked about this before. It was they had the talking car in place of a talking dog. Then there's Jabberjaw. There's this one. There's got to be other few, but those are the ones coming to mind.
Oh, there's like a copious amount because then we also have Josie and the Pussycats is kind of like the same thing.
I guess so. I guess Josie and the Pussycats kind of because that was originally an Archie comic, wasn't it? And then that they just got the rights by Hanna-Barbera, something like that.
I'm not too sure there because I always thought that was. I know there was an Archie comic out, but for some reason I thought that went the other way around where.
Episode 200, folks. Fact checking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, let's talk about stupid shit that nobody else cares about. But I want to say that I think Archie comics and Hanna-Barbera have always kind of been connected. I think a lot of the comics, I think some of the early Johnny Quest ones would also be under the Archie name.
I know Archie's kind of come back in a big bad way. I mean, Mark Waid, who is a really famous he did some stuff for DC, did a lot of stuff for Marvel. He wrote Trinity for DC. He's now writing for Archie, and they're making a big deal about it.
Huh.
Which, I mean, I've never read. I know the characters because they've been around for like 60 years, so you pick up on things. But I never actually read a comic. But I'm trying to imagine what like a show or what a comic about. It's a lovable, dopey guy who can't make up his mind between the nice blonde and the bitchy brunette. It's been going on for 60 years. So I'm sure there's probably something more to it than that. But it's one of those. I mean, I know recently they did like a horror version. They had like Archie's World meets like Lovecraft, where like Sabrina the teenage witch got attacked by like Cthulhu and was forced to be his bride and all this crazy shit. Just this stuff over here, and there's a zombie outbreak and all this kind of stuff.
That literally just sounds like, hey, you know what? Our comics are kind of going down, but you know what's popular?
Dark shit.
Yeah, dark shit. Walking Dead, Cthulhu, all this stuff. But no, you're right though. Josie Pussycats was based off Archie comics though, so it kind of got turned in from there.
I want to say,
remember that time we were in the mall and there was just some like weird Archie, like it was a live action picture for some kind of like tattoo / piercing place. We sound like old man, like some kind of heathen shop that was in the mall. And I just brought the picture of like this like Archie looking guy with Betty and Veronica, and he just had all these piercings in and spiked hair, and he's just kind of like, what? And they're like both almost like kissing him on the cheek or something like that.
Well, the thing is, they were all like 19, like they were all dressed like it was 1950s, but they still had a couple of random things like big earrings and shit like that, and kind of like.
Yeah, he had like gauged earrings. That was right.
And like a random kind of like one of those piercings. I mean, one of those piercings where it's just like a little diamond on the like in your cheek or something like that, And he just was like sipping on like a milkshake. He had the straw in his teeth. This looked like, fuck yeah, I'm fucking Archie. What you gonna do about it? And then he had like these two girls kissing him on both cheek, and then the girls had a few tattoos, even though it was still it was still made to look like the 50s kind of. It was like Archie's girls now available here, just like Archie's. Like I'm like, are you advertising to the right fucking crowd? Are we just missing something? And we're just feeling like kind of like, what happened?
It's like, yeah, well, Archie's now into pornographic videos, and Jughead runs the camera. He jerks off in the corner.
Jughead, the porn king. That's why he wears that crown.
Yeah, they didn't give him a crown for nothing. You're a stunt cock.
He's the one running Riverdale, You get out of the line, you talk to the head.
I will say, though, if they ever just decided to go hey, let's just make an Archie live action movie, I think that could work.
Well, they're getting there.
I'm just surprised it hasn't happened yet. You know what I mean? If you want to take a comic book franchise, it'd be a lot easier to make than having to put a bunch of special effects and all that kind of stuff in there. Do Archie. Everybody knows Archie. It's like that comic is more famous than a lot of the other choices they've chosen. More people know who Archie is than they know who Ant-Man is.
There was back in the 90s, early 90s, there was a short-lived. There's a made-for-TV movie. This was to be the Archie reunion, and it was kind of all the characters come back after college. And apparently, I saw a cracked article on it, and they showed a little clip of it. It was fucking horrible what I saw. And Jughead was divorced, single, but they're still kind of treating it comically.
He was living out of a van.
He at some point out of nowhere gets up and starts beatboxing and starts rapping about how bad his life is,
Yeah, he's like he's living under a bridge.
Right next to Chris Farley. in a van down by the river,
under a fucking bridge. It's that's nice, Jughead. I had to hawk my crown, man. The only thing I had left. Well, you got a van. You're not doing too bad.
He just sees some kid wearing his crown around town. The kid just uses it as a fucking soccer ball, just kicking it back and forth.
You wish you could have this crown, old man. I'm only 28. Well, that's fucking old, man, because I'm fucking 12.
Fucking geezer. And kicks just stomps mud onto him.
A bunch of kids are kicking mud on Jughead. Rolls around and they're like, no!
Yeah, let's make that movie. Darren Aronofsky's Jughead. Let's see that.
Yeah, don't fuck Archie. It's just the movie's about Jughead. We all know who we're here for. Archie just has to be at the corner, just and Archie's life turned out good. But Jughead, on the other hand, that's the character we want to see. That's the interesting tale.
He lost the rights. He invested too much money into that one sausage company because Archie was Jughead was the spokesperson for some sausage company in the 90s. I remember that. Then invested too much money in. I don't see those anymore. I don't see ads for those. I don't remember what they were, but I don't remember seeing those ads anymore. So. He lost all his money to him, and now he's just on the street, like sucking cock to like pay off the van.
But see, like, the thing is, like, Archie, I think it's been around just as long as Batman. It's like, come on, well, just make something like that. You could make a copious amount of money. But, like, the thing to do with the Archie one is don't make it like a high school one. Make it like they are in college or something like that.
Well, they were gonna. Well, the thing is that show. I mean, that made-for-TV movie. It was made to be kind of like a pilot for a show. Like they're hoping the movie was gonna do good, and then like go off on a TV show from there. But then like it just got horrible reviews, and everyone's like, "What the fuck is this?" And they were just not going nowhere. Now I think CW is making Rivendell, so they're making the Archie CW show.
Huh. Well, see, that would actually probably work well on CW.
You got to make it kind of lighthearted, though. I mean, I never really, like I said, I never read an Archie book. For all I know, it's very intense and very dramatic. But from all the covers I've seen and little snippets I've seen here and there, it seems to be very lighthearted and very fun. So you'd have to make it a little bit more. I imagine you have to make it a little bit more lighthearted and kind of like, Archie, you cheated on me with Veronica? Yes, I'm sorry. It just gotta happen. But I'm having your child. You can't have that shit. You know what I mean? So
she's like, I'm having a child with Oliver Queen. Well, we're doing the crossover episode now.
They could. I mean,
but it is because to me, what Archie always felt like.
Archie met Predator
felt like a comic. It felt like wait, what?
Archie met Predator a little bit ago.
Okay, that's what I thought you said. I just want to make sure. But it always felt like Happy Days as a comic, even though I know it came out way before Happy Days. But that's always how it felt to me when I looked at it. I'm like, this looks like Happy Days, but in a comic book.
If I had to guess, the thing probably keeping it now is more of like that old fat. I mean, the main Archie books, probably not the like H.P. Lovecraft zombie Archie stuff. Probably like the
not the spin-offs.
The traditional stuff, if I had to guess, it's probably something to the effect of being like probably. I mean, just a guess. It's probably like decent writing with probably like wholesome messages and probably like coming of age stories, but it still
just says on the cover, decent writing, wholesome messages.
Like that's their tag.
Not great writing, just decent, something you can put up with.
It's bearable,
Well, I remember being But I remember because, like, when I was a kid, like, what Archie appealed to, though, to me, they always remember like they were like girls' comics. Because I remember being just being 8 years old and going to buy comics with me and my mom's friend and her daughter, and she would always get Archie and Betty Veronica and all that stuff, and be like, "Oh, sweet, here's a Johnny Quest or a Batman issue or something like that." Like, I'd go after something like, "Where's a comic with a bunch of men in it?" But then she would get those ones, and that was the only time I ever really read those Archie comics. Was like way back then, because she would have those or Betty and Veronica and so on. But other than that, though, I mean, I haven't seen one in 15 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I imagine it's one of those things where, like, it's probably a little bit more self-aware at this point in time. Maybe someone makes like a 50s reference and looks at Archie like he's confused, like they're confused or something, or maybe it's a little Scott Pilgrim-ish. Something. I would imagine if you were to make a live-action movie, you'd make it a little bit more like kind of like Scott Pilgrim, not like they start fighting, but I mean more that kind of like pacing, that kind of humor,
No, I think that'd actually be the perfect tone for it nowadays is to make it like Scott Pilgrim.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just Scott Pilgrim, but just disincluding maybe like the over-the-top fighting. Like that'd be the only thing that you'd kind of change out. But I think that same style. Hell, if you even just got Edgar Wright to make the Scott or the Archie movie, come on.
That might not be a bad idea. I'll see anything Edgar Wright makes. So yeah, why not? I mean, if he said like next movie I'm making is Archie, I'm like, okay, I'll be there, but okay, I'll be there. It's not my first choice, but there's a period where he was talking about he might do Star Trek 3. That fell through, unfortunately. But they Joss Whedon, once he left Marvel, he said, now that I'm out of Marvel, I can say this. Edgar Wright's script for Ant-Man, that would have been the best movie they had at Marvel, but unfortunately it kind of like messed with their timeline or whatever, so that's why he left in the first place, because his vision didn't match theirs.
And it's always kind of one of those sad ones, because it's like, Ant-Man was a good movie, but like just to like see like what it could be.
I feel bad for it, because I'm 100% with you. I just feel bad for the guy who made Ant-Man, because
he tried his best.
Ant-Man was because Ant-Man was a good movie, but that guy, every person is saying, imagine what if Edgar Wright. He's living with that. He's just like, look, can we just talk about the fucking movie that got made? And I know he's got to be feeling that way, and I feel bad about it. But at the same time, it's just that Edgar Wright's my favorite directors. I can't help but wonder, what would it fucking be like if he made it? I mean, I feel bad for that guy.
Because he's got to live with that for the rest of his life. Is that he's always going to be like, well, you made that movie. Huh. Did you ever wonder what it'd be like if Edgar Wright directed it instead? He's like, yes, I think about that every single day. He pulls a pen out, just starts stabbing the guy in the throat. And that's what I think about it. Don't fucking ask me about that.
He whispers in his ear. He's like, the guy's breathing heavy. He's like, shh, shh, shh. Like, puts his like hand over their mouth. Shh, don't worry, it'll be over soon. Just like gets him, like, just jams the pen further up into his fucking kidney.
But it is one of those things like, that's kind of suck. But still, it's like, I want to see what Edgar Wright does next. But I think, Archie, I think he could take that over and probably do it interesting.
I'm down to see whatever. I mean, last time I heard what he was going to make like a car act, like a car chase,
a car movie,
like a car action movie, car chase movie, and I don't remember the synopsis. But it was focusing around, like, I guess kind of like a car, like a kid driving a car and having to work for like a mobster for some reason. So.
Well, you can't go wrong there. I know that he's always he's one of the, the many people that's always wanted to do a 007 movie.
Yeah, I think he could. I think he's one of those.
But I think he would do a really good 007 movie if they put him on there.
He's one of those guys that kind of started off as like a cult like director, and then as more of his stuff came out, people were like, oh no, this guy's fucking amazing. But then, like, for whatever reason, I think he has so much of his own vision, people are weary about choosing him, especially since everyone loves Scott Pilgrim. Just about everybody loves Scott Pilgrim, but it didn't make a lot of money, so I think that's another reason people are very weary about that.
Yeah, well, you say like a cult director, but I think that's only like over here in America. Like, in a sense, like in England, I think it's a really big deal, though. Like, he's like a huge comedic. He'd be almost like what's his name?
Stanley Kubrick, who went over to, I guess not the reverse.
No. Like, over here in the U.S., a comedic director. The guy did Anchorman and all that stuff.
Oh, not Judd Apatow, but I know you're talking Brian.
Oh yeah, Judd Apatow. That's actually what I'm thinking of. He's almost like that, because Judd Apatow at the moment is sort of, in the last 10 years plus, is kind of the big American director / producer to kind of make comedies. But I bet you, Edgar Wright over in England, like, that's a lot bigger deal than it is here. Here, it's just more like, if you seem to like British films, I think people gravitate towards that. But if you don't care for British films, then maybe you don't obviously go towards
it. Well, not to be this guy, but, I mean, not to sound like you're standing American, but, I mean, it's one of those things. I think most of probably the bigger movie deal, because he's pretty big now, and I think he's probably trying to look for, like, more American films, because you probably get more distribution that way. People probably more look your way that way, because it's one of them. I'm not saying because we instantly make better movies, but you just get bigger distribution and people are, you know what I mean? I mean, you can still probably get totally fine as long as you're.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's like, in a sense, making a movie for just England alone. That's like making a movie for just California alone. Well, where, in the U.S. you're making it for not just I'm size wise, because England's only like so big of a country. Well, if you're going to make a movie for, I'm going to say, I'm not saying that the movie will be better. I'm just saying that, like, American films, American film companies, they just push everything out there. Where I think it'll be easier to get bigger distribution from American companies. You know what I mean? So I imagine, even though I'm sure that, his trilogy, the Simon Pegg and Nick Frost trilogy. Nick Frost.
I'm sure those did fine all over the world. But I think with something kind of like, just with an American budget, you probably maybe you don't get as much freedom depending on who you're working with or what studio it is. But I imagine you just get a much wider release, so much more advertising.
Yeah, no, I think that's just in general. Mm-hmm. But he could do the 007 movie because they're always kind of like, it's got to be a British director to do it. That's why they didn't allow Quentin Tarantino or Steven Spielberg to make it.
Tarantino wanted to make a 007?
Yeah, and they denied him. And same with Steven Spielberg, which it seems weird. Like, I don't care who you are. It just seems like if Steven Spielberg said, "Hey, I want to make this classic Chinese tale," even China would probably be like, "No, Steven Spielberg's gonna do it. Let him do it." But it seems weird to say "No, Steven, you're not British. You can't do the 007." That's just one of those ones like, dude, that's Steven Spielberg. Do you know who the fuck it is? Like, you almost have to like pull him aside, like, dude, that, you know what I mean? That's not Ridley Scott that just walked in. That's fucking Steven Spielberg. Well, Ridley Scott's really good too. Don't get me wrong, but fucking Steven Spielberg. He could sell anything just about.
Well, Guy Ritchie.
Hell, even the movies that weren't that great of his, people still, sold millions.
Yeah. Well, even Guy Ritchie. I guess Guy Ritchie can do one. Edgar Wright can do one.
I would love to see Guy Ritchie do one too. I think he would be a great guy to direct 007. Actually, he would probably be my number one choice if they had to choose one for the next Bond film.
Mm-hmm. No, I see what you're saying, because Man with Uncle might as well have been just 2 Bonds. One just happened to be Russian.
Either that, or this is the ultimate combo. Edgar Wright writes it, Guy Ritchie can direct it.
Yeah.
And then they both produce it, or something. Like they work together, like fucking From Dusk Till Dawn style.
Matthew Vaughn.
Rodriguez.
I can see Matthew Vaughn possibly doing a Bond film.
Yeah, I can see that.
He even has ties to Guy Ritchie, because he was the producer on most of Guy Ritchie's stuff. Then he went and directed Layer Cake, Stardust, Kick-Ass, and then X-Men First Class, and then Kingsman, which is basically a love letter to 007, but the one that Roger Moore. Yes, Michael Moore. No, it was a love letter to the Roger Moore ones, because it's a little bit more over the top, a little bit more silly from what people say.
That's one of those movies I still need to see that one. It just looks like a good one, but I just haven't seen it.
At first, I was kind of like, I don't know. But then I heard it was rated R. I'm like, oh wow, and it's gotta be pretty good.
I don't know what it is. It's just like when you hear rated. To me, when I hear when it's rated R, it just says like, "Hey, they took this movie seriously."
Well, when they say it's rated R and it looks that wacky, it's like, okay, so all the wackiness is for a reason. When something looks that wacky and it's PG or PG-13, you think you almost feel like you're getting talked down to. But when it's just like, oh, it's rated R, so that means there's violence. There's got to be something else to it then, other than violence.
Yeah. But you kind of notice a lot of these guys who aren't allowed to sort of make a 007 movie, they end up kind of making something very close to it.
I guess let's think here for a minute. I guess not entirely, but Quentin Tarantino, Kill Bill is not. It's more like spaghetti western anime than it is 007. But I guess the idea of these over the top criminals that she has to fight, and she's kind of globetrotting around the world. There's that. I guess if you go to, I mean. It's a reach.
That just sounds like
it's a reach.
It's a reach. I'm more saying Guy Ritchie. He got Man from Uncle. That's kind of like doing a 007 movie.
If you really want to reach, I know that's kind of a reach, but I'm just thinking because some of the villains in Kill Bill, not all of them, but some of the villains in Kill Bill seem like they could be like a Bond villain. Like Go-Go, she seems like she could have been a Bond villain, not like the main villain, but like an odd job or something like that.
Yeah, like a secondary one or something like that.
Yeah, and same thing with kind of like there is Copperhead. I don't remember. There is the chick she kills at the beginning of the first one, who's like a mom. That seems like she could have been a Bond villain as well. If you really want, this is more. I think that he was trying to make more of like a Dirty Dozen with Inglourious Bastards, but I guess you could even go back and say maybe in some way Inglourious Bastards hints of Bond, because Bond was based off a British double agent. So, and I guess that even has kind of hints of some of that, because I saw like an HBO special on The Real Guy that Bond was based off of, and he was doing similar shit to what they were doing in Inglourious Bastards, Nazi killing Assad.
Huh.
Yeah. That's more of a reach.
Bond movie,
I'm not gonna lie, that's more of a reach, but I think maybe some hints.
And I've said this before, because this is what I originally thought Casino Royale was when it first came out. I thought it was supposed to be a prequel, but I would love to see a Bond movie that's in the 50s. And it's just like, this is Bond, his first days starting out. But it's in the 50s though instead. Not, kind of like the, because don't get me wrong, I love Daniel Craig and all that stuff, but I'd like to see him go back and say well, this is part of more like the original kind of timeline. Not sort of like the modern one, If they do that, if they kind of are going to change the actor coming up, they should hopefully do something like that.
Would you ever like to see? Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think Daniel Craig said he's going to do one more after Spectre, but
that Spectre was the last one, but
I thought so too. And then he was probably the last thing, he's like, whoa, this Bond money just came in. Fuck, doing something else.
I got one more in me. That's good. Well, if he did do one more, that's fine, because I like him as Bond. And if this was the last one, that'd be fine, because that's 4 movies is a good run for Bond. I think 4 to 5 movies is a pretty good run. Yeah, I just think it's I feel bad for George Lazenby and Timothy Dalton, who only got 1 to 2 in there.
Well, yeah, George Lazenby only got 1. Then it's like Sean Connery came back in. It's like, whoa.
Move aside, boy. I got this.
What? And it's just, and George Lazenby's a fantastic Bond. That's one of that's probably in my top 5 favorite Bond films. Is that one? I like it that much.
I will say though.
And then Timothy.
Go ahead.
I was saying, then Timothy Dalton ones, I like him quite a bit too, even though he only has 2, but they're both really good films. The nice thing is when you ever get those kind of Bonds that only have a couple movies, they feel like they're always the very experimental Bonds. Like On Her Majesty's Secret Service, they really said, like, do whatever you want. That's what I like about that movie. There's, this, we got a different guy in there. If we want to, we can forget about this movie. So just try out whatever you want. If you want to have him have a wife and have her get killed, go for it. If you want to have this, like, cutting-edge cinematography and editing, go for it. Because that's what I like about that film. It's like a ballsy picture. Mm-hmm. They try all these different things, and they experiment with kind of all stuff that they might not have tried if Sean Connery was in it.
No, I get you. I was thinking, though, as a hardcore Bond fan, are you ever... Because I like 007. He's not my favorite thing, but I like 007. As a hardcore Bond fan, do you ever want to see kind of like some of the more fan theory? Kind of like somebody came out and said, hey, we want to do like a fan theory kind of movie where it's more of like 007, that's a name that's passed. They even talk about doing this at one point in time. 007, James Bond, is a code name passed down from agent to agent. And make the Avengers of 007 films. You got them all working together. Would that kind of ruin it for you? Or would that be kind of like a little side project?
It wouldn't ruin it for me. I don't think it'd be kind of an interesting way to go about it. It's just a name, just like Moneypenny and just like, Q and all this stuff. They just kind of get passed along. Like, I don't think that's a bad idea. To me, it's like, it's not necessary. More, the one thing that I just would like to see is I would like to see him stop, in a sense, like, stop the Daniel Craig, like, modernized versions where it's kind of like, it broke that kind of continual story and kind of made a new one. And then kind of just bring it back to like the way that Bond kind of was before. And I know some people go like, well, that's the way he kind of was originally in the books, was more like that. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm wrong. I love the Daniel Craig ones. I think they're good. But it is one of those ones. I think it's just the reboot part always bothers me. It's like Casino Royale. I love that movie, but it always will bother me. It's like, why did you guys have to reboot it? Why didn't you just make this they should have taken place in the 50s. They would have been just that much cooler of film. You already minused out all the gadgets and stuff anyway, so like, it's not like there's nothing really too modern in there. Like, I look at Casino Royale, it's just, if you just would have went that extra distance and just changed some of the cars, changed some of the outfits, it would not have been that hard to make that movie olden days.
I will say real quick, regarding that whole fan theory thing, I just realized something. If there probably wasn't the one part, and what's the bad Pierce Brosnan one? I think you might like it, but I don't like it. Oh.
I like them all. Pierce, like Die Another Day,
the ice castle.
Yeah, that's Die Another Day.
There's the part in that movie where he's flipping through like a photo album, and you see some of the older Bond girls from previous movies. So I guess cementing it that this is the same guy. If that didn't happen. And what if, like, would you be more forgiving of, like, probably the Bond film, of the Daniel Craig Bond films, if, like, the next one is kind of like, all right, well, it's not that this is a reboot, just time has moved forward, and this is a code name passed down, so that's where we bring in some other Bonds.
I think that could work. I don't think it's a bad idea, because then at least you could finally say, well, at least, Roger Moore, Timothy Dalton could still kind of get, like, another shot, back in there to... And then you could have Sean Connery. You can just wheel him in for a second.
He's like, we were gonna make him the new M, but he's just always confused. Yeah. It's all good. It's all good. Shaker, not stirred. Yeah. We all. That's the code. We all go up that one. You just go back in your corner. Just wheel him off.
So it's an interesting theory to try out.
Just what if the thing is just kind of like, okay, so here we could just micromanaging it to the level of kind of like, all right, so you are James Bond. James Bond loves martinis, shaken, not stirred. I'm just like, I fucking hate martinis. If you want this, you gotta drink martinis. Well, why are we all passing on this persona? It could just be a code name. Why do I have to drink the fucking martini? And he's like, all right, well, I'm going to be drinking a Heineken every chance I get when they're not looking, all right?
Yeah, they're whipping me a little bit extra cash on the side.
Yeah.
I remember that was such a big deal, though, like when the Heineken thing, they're like, it's going to ruin the legacy! Bond doesn't drink a beer! And it's like, it's only like he drinks it in like one shot, and you really can't even tell it's a Heineken if people didn't make such a big deal about it beforehand, you'd never have known.
But it was one of those things, though, because we both went to the movie looking for it. Whenever he brought up the Heineken, we'd always kind of nudge each other, like, there it is. As if we were fucking whale watching or something. Over there.
Yeah, no, look, there's one over there. Look, it's blowing its spout.
It would be one of those things, like, because it would be like there's a part where he just got done fucking that chick when he was like somewhere like in some Caribbean island. He's just laying in bed, just like chugging a Heineken. You know, he's got a little bit of a stubble going. Like, you just don't give a fuck no more. You know, and then later, I think that's the only time we see him drink it. Then there's like some point there's like a fridge of Heinekens we just see behind a bar.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, there they are. Then like one of the other like MI6 agents is drinking a Heineken while waiting for a phone call or something. Like, another Heineken, you know? Just like 3 times in the whole movie. He drank it once, you know, and people are just losing their shit.
And he still had his regular, you know, shaken not stirred martini, so it wasn't like anything.
Even had a close up. You saw a guy have his hands on like the martini on the shaker, just shake it like, see, it's fucking there. Get off our dick.
Yeah,
because I remember people were just losing their shit over that movie. Because like Quantum of Solace, people didn't hate it, but people were a little disappointed with it after they loved Casino Royale. So when this one was coming up, he's got a stubble. They were seeing screenshots. So he's got a stubble. He's fucking drinking Heinekens. They're gonna fuck it up, man. They're fucking Ian Fleming's corpse, man.
And it turns out that's like the best one of them all for like the new series.
Yeah, that was like I kind of love when that happens when you get this huge fan outcry. I mean, I know it may seem kind of petty, but I love it when there's this huge fan outcry before something comes out, and then right when it comes out, it's like, oh, okay, no, that was pretty good. Like that happened with, granted, that happened like the opposite happened with Star Trek 2, but I remember J.J. Abrams' Star Trek 1. When that came, when the words of that was coming out, people were losing their shit and so pissed off. Then when it came out, they weren't saying it was the best. Like, okay, that was actually pretty fucking good. But they had problems with Star Trek too, though. So then they go.
We're gonna take a quick break here, but now a word from our buddies at.
Hello, I'm Dr. Norman Trousers. He, on the other hand, is River Zambezi.
Hello.
We host the Casa Mirth Podcast, a ramshackle little comedy show found on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, and all your favourite podcast directories.
And www.casamirth.com.
Yeah, and there too. We're interrupting what you were listening to,
with permission.
Yeah, we're not that clever, to invite you to,
when you finished,
come and take a listen to our show.
If you like laughing.
Yeah, if you like a laugh, come laugh with us.
Should we warn them?
We should probably say something. Some of our content,
none of which is suitable for children,
may offend.
Would you suck a stunt cock?
There's lots of dicks in this program.
If I was on my own, that Japanese fucking milky tit sex doll, I would probably buy one. I'm going to stick my finger up my bum. You know, bollocks of that. Just go on the internet and actually get that bird to fucking
put a finger up her
twang
bum.
herself off. Well, yeah.
This is Angel Barrow White.
Maybe I'm a bit prudish, right? Maybe I felt a bit guilty when the cat walks in on me having a wank. I don't know. In my fucking day, we had to work 27 hours a day.
That's before we got up. Do you like my leather?
I thought you were just sweaty.
No. If you had 9 knobs, I guarantee you wouldn't be sat here doing this show.
And it was a bit of a weird experience to basically be sat there having a fucking picnic while she's naked in a bath. I'd buy him a picture of Kylie Minogue's cock.
What? Really?
She had a cunt like a Wookiee's armpit.
You forgot to turn the beat machine.
What a cunt.
So, as long as that kind of language doesn't offend you, we'd love to welcome you into the fold.
Yes, we would. So join us on the Casa Mirth Podcast. Thanks for listening.
Will you unlock this cage now?
Shut up.
Yeah, people always kind of complain about Star Trek, the second one in that series, which I like it a lot. I guess the only thing to me is like,
it was a remake.
Yeah, it was pretty much like a remake of Wrath of Khan, and you're kind of like, because the other one was like, yes, it was like a remake, reboot, so on, and then at the same time, it was still continuing on the legacy, just in like a weird time way. So everything kind of made sense, but like the way they went about it was a little bit different. Like it just all worked. That movie is just fantastic, and the second one, it's real good. But like, I guess I was expecting like a brand new story, and then you kind of like, oh, well, it's the story we've already sort of seen. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a good one, but you know, I think that part was just a little bit kind of unnecessary. So hopefully in the third one they just kind of do a brand new Star Trek. idea, which I can't imagine them not doing. But
that next one's like, we're looking for fucking whales again.
Yeah, like they just keep remaking the old ones.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I never saw Wrath of Khan, but I kind of hear enough about it. I know all the plot points and all that. So, I mean, I was never really a diehard Star Trek fan. I was like, oh, it's there. So I liked number 2 fine. I was like, oh, there's more explosions. The stuff I always wanted in Star Trek. So,
yeah, it's more like Star Wars. I kind of like that.
Yeah, which is what pisses every Star Trek fan off. I mean, I know that, there is that whole kind of theory, like, Star Wars nerds versus Star Trek nerds, but it almost does seem a little bit kind of like... It almost does seem kind of like Star Wars fans like bullying like Star Trek nerds. Like this is like well, we get bullied, but this they're the bullies to them. Just like, well, these are the ones weaker than us because they don't have explosions in their shit.
Well, because as well as ones like one of my favorite Star Trek movies is like Star Trek Nemesis, and that's one of the ones that a lot of people don't like, but I like that one because it's got a lot of action in it and so on. Like I'm like that one's great because there's a handful of Star Trek movies like I pretty much enjoy them all, but there is some of them where like there's not a whole lot going on. I'll even say this, and Wrath of Khan doesn't really have a whole lot of action in it either. It's kind of I think Khan's a cool character and all that kind of stuff, but you almost kind of wish for a little bit more explosions and punches and so on to happen there, and it's just not all there. So sometimes when you get to like the Patrick Stewart Star Treks, they add more action in those ones and stuff, even though a couple of them they're a little bit hokey sometimes. Because those Star Trek movies, I think some of them, like, I mean, the older ones, I think they're kind of fine, but they do sometimes feel like they got, like, a television movie budget. They don't feel like they're a feature-length film, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not in that same caliber. No, it's not saying they're bringing them down, but you do sometimes feel like you're watching a made-for-TV movie that happened to be on the big screen.
Yeah, I kind of get that sense from them. I never actually, I feel bad, I've never really seen a full-length Star Trek like Next Generation movie. I've seen bits and parts. I've seen full episodes of the original Star Trek show. I've seen 1 or 2 full episodes of Next Generation, but the only full-length movies I've seen are the J.J. Abrams ones, like the whole way through. I've seen bits and pieces of other ones.
I think most of the Next Generation ones I saw them all in theaters.
Is Nemesis, is that like the Borgs, like the floating cubes in space?
No, I don't think that's a cubes in space thing.
Is that the one where Tom Hardy's like a clone of like Patrick Stewart, and he's like, I'm perfect in every way. I'm the better version of you, or whatever.
Yeah, it's got that going on in it. But
that sounds like a cool concept, but people hate that movie.
People do, but check it out. That one's, I will say, it's one of my favorite Star Trek movies. I really enjoy that one. It's got a lot of action in it and so on. I remember when I saw it in theaters, I saw it like in a double feature with that movie and Phone Booth. And Phone Booth was so bad that like made Star Trek Nemesis seem so good.
Poor what's his name?
Colin Farrell.
Not Colin Farrell. Joel Schumacher, because Joel Schumacher, like,
Colin Farrell? Wait, who?
That is Colin Farrell and Joel Schumacher directed it. Because Joel
when you said that, I was like, wait a second, is that not his name? What is his name? I'm forgetting everything.
200 episodes, it does it to you. You're getting PTSD.
After you misplace it, after you misbuy a DVD, just nothing else seems to make sense anymore.
You're having a identity crisis here.
I know.
No. What was I gonna say?
Joel Schumacher.
He's actually a good. People like always give him shit. He actually is a good director. I mean, I know we disagree on this. I just think he made 2 bad Batman movies. I know you like those, but I just think he just made 2 bad Batman movies, and those are all people really seem to talk about. I have no interest in seeing Phantom of the Opera, but he did. We can't forget he made Lost Boys. He made Falling Down. He did.
Yeah, he made Falling Down, which is like if you ever say that he's a bad director, that's where I want to just go. Have you seen Falling Down? Like,
or Lost Boys, or 8mm, you know?
Yeah, or 8. There's another really good one. But like Falling Down is like the example of like, if you think this guy's a bad actor, watch that movie and then tell me that's not a good movie. Tell me that's not a good movie. If you tell me that's not a good movie, I don't even think you like movies.
Yeah, it's like he's done some good stuff, and I even liked Phone Booth. I had mixed opinions when I first saw it, but as time went on, I liked it a little bit more. So, I mean, it is a weird movie. It is kind of like a bottle film. Like, you're stuck in that phone booth, bitch. Like, oh, what am I going to do? I got a gun. I'm going to shoot you, bitch. You know? So,
well, as I get older and I kind of like, just kind of appreciate the filmmaking, I kind of look at that movie and go, okay, I think it is cool when you can make an entire movie like in 3 locations in a sense. And it's like inside the phone booth, outside the phone booth, and then up in the sniper tower. Mm-hmm. So that is kind of cool. But I just remember, I think it's just because everybody was just so like, whoa, you're gonna die. You're like, you're gonna die if you don't do what I say, boy. I'm gonna blow your ear off. No! Don't you wish you were watching Star Trek Nemesis right now? Yeah, I really do wish I was. Well, you're not anymore. Now you're watching phone booth.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta see that again. It's been some time, but I remember liking it when I saw it. So, but no, I remember it just seemed like such a shock though when they said Abrams is doing like not a huge shock, but it's like Abrams might be doing the Star Wars 7. I'm just like, yeah, I mean, it kind of makes sense, but almost makes too much sense because he did Star Trek. So it almost makes too much sense that he'd go and do Oh, fuck, they got him.
Yeah, it's just one of those ones.
It would be as if kind of like, I guess, the same thing. I mean, now that this is happening, this is more like the Star Trek to Star Wars, more the extreme example. But I guess it'd be like Guy Ritchie doing Man from U.N.C.L.E. Oh, well, it makes sense they got him to do 007, but they probably won't. Oh, they actually got him to do 007, you know?
Yeah, it's just like, oh, okay. He kind of like almost like made his way into there.
Yeah. One of those things like, oh, it's too similar. They're not going to do that. Like, oh, fuck, they did do it. Okay.
I don't know. But it'd be sweet to see him kind of get something like that, but who knows? Well, we'll figure it out. We'll get to that Bond time for a new Bond.
Not to bring things down a little bit. I mean, this is more of like this is more of like this would have been a tragedy if this did happen. I'm going to change gears here because you're actually there for it. Not there, but in the area for it. Funny thing, I'm not sure of how wide of a thing it is on the news because it's not really, it's an almost story because nothing actually happened at the end of the day. But our high school that we went to, there was almost a school shooting at it.
Yeah, I know. Well, because I remember Cisco sent me a message on that. I was like, no, I didn't hear about that yet. And I was kind of like right when they were like investigating all that stuff. So then when I drove past Tuolumne, there was a couple of news vans there. There was Fox 40 and so on. So I was like, oh, what do you know? It's like that is going on. And at first, I just thought, I was like, oh, okay. Like I thought it was just gonna be a small thing. Like, you know, okay, they arrested a couple of kids. Like if you're in Tuolumne, you might have heard about it in the local paper and so on. Blah, 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 blah. But then next thing you know, it's like I'm looking on Bing and on the front page there, it's like, who wins this weekend? Who sold out? The Martian? It's like, oh yeah, ISIS destroys, 2,000-year-old landmark and Somerville High School in a school shooting. Like, oh.
Yeah.
What do you know?
It just literally a week before. Another thing that was weird is a week before, there's that shooting in Oregon. And weird thing with that, I mean, it's not by my friend's place exactly, but I got a couple of friends. I got a few friends that live in Portland, and then a few friends that live in Grants Pass, and this town is right between the two. So it's kind of like chances are people.
Which town was it in Oregon? Because I didn't think I ever got the town name of that.
I think it was Grantsville. It was like it was right off of I-5 between Portland and Grants Pass. I don't remember the name of it.
Okay, well, that doesn't.
I don't remember the name of it. It's going to take me on my iPhone because I have big fingers. Oregon shooter. It was in, I want to say, Roseburg. Yeah, Roseburg.
Okay, I don't know where that is, but
yeah, it's basically
close enough, I guess. But yeah, I was like, well, and the thing too is like when I think about the Somerville one too, nowadays it's like it's almost like like a shooting. It's almost just like something that like it's just what everybody's doing.
Which is
like,
kind of sad and scary when you think about it.
Well, yeah, it's what makes it sad and scary. But I mean, like at least like I mean, this sounds horrible too, but like the first school shootings, they almost felt like it. There was at least like a lot, like they were doing it just because they decided that just everything wasn't going so good for them that this is what they're going to do. But now it almost just feels like it makes it easier for people to do since there's so many of them. It's almost like before it was a real big commitment. Somebody was literally going to end their life for this one thing that they decided to do. Where now it just kind of seems like, yeah, whatever, we can do it. It's like, well, just it happens everywhere. Like, why don't we just be the first one to do it here over, in East California? Like, and that's what it seems like, which does make it really scary and weird that people are just doing it because, hey, it seems like everybody else is doing it. My friend Tommy was doing it in Montana and Billy was doing it in Florida. So fuck it, let's just do it. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, it is one of those things. I don't want to get too political here, but it is one of those things where it is kind of like, we do got to start getting some fucking gun laws. We really do got to start getting some more tighter gun laws. Not saying get rid of guns. Not saying, like throw them in a ditch and burn them. We'll never need them again. I'm just saying, but we got to start making some tighter fucking laws because of people that got. I mean, granted, I'll say this about the Oregon one. I mean, not the Oregon one, the Somerville one. That one, at least it was like they were in the early stages of it. And it was to that point of they didn't even have the guns yet. They're working on getting the guns, but they had everything mapped out of what they're going to do. So,
Well, they had it mapped out. They had the people, the teachers they were going to kill, the students they were going to kill, the ways they were going to kill them. It was all like planned, and clearly they didn't plan it very well. Obviously, if you let that get out, which makes you just wonder, because this day and age,
it's probably something as stupid as sharing through text message. I bet too.
Oh yeah, well yeah, I bet you anything, because the downfall of the shooting nowadays, like at least I'll say this, with Columbine, it wasn't like those people were just doing it for like themselves. Where nowadays, I feel like people sort of do it to get attention. You know, and the Columbine one, it was not for attention. It was literally just, somebody just going, hey, these people are being total assholes, let's just end it. And where nowadays, that's what I think bothers me, is just the fact that people, it's literally jumping on the bandwagon, So I bet you, because the Columbine kids, like, nobody knew. That's what made it kind of scary, too, is just they were all secretive about it.
Yeah.
Like, generally what you would do if you were going to do something like that, you'd keep it really secretive. So obviously if it got out, like, they must have been talking about it, like, in school. Like, guess what? We're going to kill that person. Kill that person. And we all know that.
It's fucking stupid.
Or in grammar school, anyways, you always just talk about, like, fuck you, I'm going to kill you. I remember my buddy John Garcia, it was, like, right after
You threatened to kill me one time. I remember that. We got really pissed off each other at one point in high school, and you threatened to kill me.
Kill you.
That only happened once, granted, but yeah.
But it's just what happened. But I remember, like, we were walking once, and John was all... He was telling some kid, like, oh, I'm going to kill you or whatnot. It's like, just what kids say. Sometimes adults don't get that. That's why you always got to kind of keep that childlike mind still as you get older, just so you can, like, more relate. And I remember the principal pulls both of us in there, and, like, he was using me, like, he's like, what was he talking about when he's doing that? I'm like, well, it's like when you're playing basketball with somebody, you say you're going to, like, kill him. It's like, it's just saying, like, you're going to, take him down on the court. And then the principal's like, well... Yeah, and he was kind of like, well, okay, I mean, I get what you mean by that, but just make sure he doesn't say that again. Oh, okay. Like, I had to, like, talk his way out of it. Obviously, John Garcia's the other guy who, like, would make me go back to, like, the principal in high school because he put a bunch of swastikas on my paper.
He just, like, drew swastikas on your paper when you weren't looking?
Yeah, there was a point where people would just kind of, like, when somebody wasn't looking, they'd just write a swastika, like, on your, like, English paper. You're like, oh, dude, what the heck, man? And then I remember, like, when they had the drug-sniffing dogs come by, like, I guess they could also sniff swastikas, too. Because, well, I mean, it was just a paper, so you're like, whatever. You just kinda... Yeah, he was a Jewish German Shepherd. So, they sniff your bag, and then they pull you aside, and they're like, we found these in your bag, swastikas on there. I'm like, fucking John Garcia, once again, pulling me down.
I just got the image.
And then that was always the moment, like...
As stupid and childish as it is, it kind of derails it for a minute. I just got to imagine I don't know why, just the image of just like a German Shepherd, little SWAT vest, sniff gear on, then a little yarmulke. It's a Jewish German Shepherd. Just the little image of that.
Yeah, just like on his back, his ears.
This is Saul. Go, where is it, Saul? Where is it?
Well, I remember too, it was funny because it was the teacher was Mr. Suggs, and he was all like, it was probably because you had all those bands written on there. That's probably why they pulled you in there. But then they kind of take you next door and they make you take your shoes off like you're some kind of terrorist or something. And they're checking you out and they make you check everything you have, check your bags and all this stuff. And then they found out that, like, swastikas and Soviet signs, what are these doing in here? Let's get some kind of terrorist. And then I got pulled into, like, the counselor's office and I got this story. And whenever I got pulled into the teacher's counselor's, he'd always tell me a story of, like, it sounded positive at first and then went ultra depressing. So he starts going this one. He's like, oh, okay, well, one time I was over in Germany, we were taking a trip, and we were having a good time. We went to visit a lot of landmarks and everything. Went to a few pubs, went to this and that. And then we got on this train, and we were going down, and all of a sudden, we were in Auschwitz. And everybody was quiet. And we just really saw the death toll. We saw the gas chambers. We saw the burial grounds. We saw all this horrible stuff. And it's like, yeah, I get this. You bring fucking John Garcia in here, and he's the guy that's got to hear the story. Oh, he'll hear the story too. Don't worry about that. And he gave me another story once too, which when I was kind of like, well, he's like, well, what do you want to do? I'm like, well, I like videos. I want to do video production. I had a family member that was like that once before. He was gay.
Like you, puts his hand on you.
Yeah, he's just like, I knew somebody who was doing the same thing. He was under like acting or art or something faggy. I don't know. And moved to Montana. Yep. He was up there for a little bit. Then a bunch of good old boys did a fag drag and killed him. So
keep that in mind.
Yeah. Keep it in mind. If you want to make movies and stuff, yeah. You're looking for a life of death. And not you're going to kill anybody or film anybody getting killed. No. You're going to die. Enjoy the rest of the day. Oh, okay.
Here,
don't forget about Auschwitz. Yep. I've seen all the World War II.
By the way, the football team's trying out this afternoon. Look into that. I'll make them less suspicious.
You never hear of a football player dying, right? Well, they sort of, no, they never do. Always live to 100.
No brain damage in the NFL.
Nope, that's why they wear helmets. It's like, but I just remember just getting like the stories. Like they would always like they'd start off trying to be sort of like positive, but then they just go all downhill.
Yeah.
See, that's where I feel like, I remember like too, like remember when we first had our multimedia film classes, and all the faculty members had no idea. Like they literally because sometimes I see these school shootings and stuff, and I'm like, for a fact that they probably had us on those lists. They're like, these kids, we can't trust these kids. These kids are the ones running around with toy weapons, and they're carrying metal poles and jumping off the crates, and they got cameras too, for Christ's sake. So God knows what they're doing.
Snuff films right here on campus. I remember this time I was making this. I was trying to make like a like a kung fu movie. I was trying to do like a comedic love letter to like Bruce Lee films. So I brought these plastic nunchucks to school, and at some points, like
not even hard plastic, they were hollow plastic.
And there was like this guy. There was this one like they eventually hired campus security, which was this fat guy in a golf cart, kind of like sunglasses, kind of like goatee, kind of like have you seen?
Ex-bouncer, probably ex like National Guard.
Here we go. Actually, here's a good example. Have you seen any of the new South Parks? We've been watching
season
19, the one that's currently going on.
I don't think I've seen any of the ones that's currently going on. The last one I saw.
Okay, let me put it this way: for people who have seen it, he is PC principal, only he's not buff. He's PC, only he's fat. Huh. Watch the new ones. They get a new principal, and he's like this total bro, but he's like PC, and he's like just ripped. He says like, "Hey guys, what's going on? Hey, are you being discriminatory?" He's just being the shit out of Cartman, Don't fucking do that, bro. That's wrong. That's wrong, So just this total bro, but he's like very, just very PC about everything. He was basically that guy, only he was not PC and he was fat. So it was kind of like he had that kind of attitude, that kind of, he had that whole vibe to him. So, and he was school security.
And overall, I'll say this, he was actually kind of a nice guy.
He had his moments, yeah.
He was doing his job, so sometimes he did some kind of dumb things.
I had these nunchucks. I had these hollow nunchucks, and I just said, "Well, it's like bringing I'm like, well, we're just making a movie. It's not real." So he's like, "Yeah, but it's like kind of like bringing like a fake gun to school. Just like it's like you can't bring a fake gun to school. Just like well, I mean."
I didn't bring a fake gun. I brought two plastic things attached to a plastic chain.
Ever tried to rob, has anybody tried to rob a store with nunchucks? Or, steal a plane, hijack a plane with nunchucks?
Yeah, like in the last 100 years. Because that probably used to happen a lot back in the day. But...
Maybe back in, feudal Japan, maybe it did. Oh, fuck, yeah. Give him... Break the lucky cat open, give him all our savings. He's got nunchucks.
Yeah, because what are you gonna do?
I'm assuming they keep money in the lucky cat. I don't know what the thing's there for, but anyway. So I remember having that, just being, what the fuck? And because we literally would make movies, just go okay, it's multimedia, just go out and film, just unsupervised children running around the fucking school, filming karate out in the fucking football field when no one's around.
And that's, it's because nowadays people sort of understand having cameras in school, but that period they just did not get it. It was brand new. It was that thing was, we've only been doing it for 4 months or something like that, so they had no idea what the hell was going on. But for a fact that seemed like they're you know what? Those look like the Columbine kids right there. They're all wearing black. They got long hair. They got nunchucks. They got cameras. What's worse? They're playing Doom and Halo.
And the thing to make it worse, I won't go into all the details, but we just pretty much, when you're 15 years old and a camera, there is no fucking filter. There is no, you don't think it over. Let's fucking do it. What's the worst thing that could happen? And this is kind of setting us up right here. But we made one movie, and it's me doing it. But I was in your movie, and I was basically playing a Nazi. Me and my friend Brandon were basically playing Nazis, and just went just yelling in German, in German gibberish, just screaming, just
While they were executing some poor child.
Yeah. So, and it was like we were the bad guys, and we died at the end. But it was one of those. I remember the teacher, Mr. Campbell, being, "Oh, okay, so he got abducted by aliens, right?"
Yeah, sure.
And I remember he had a show at some point. To defend the class. He had to show certain movies to the faculty.
And he had nothing. He literally like he would have to make like a really well edited trailer to like get some good stuff across, because nobody at the age of like 15 and 16 is making any kind of like worthwhile film. That is the point where you make things that only relate to you and you alone. And you know, he is just looking at movies where it's like, retarded kids are funny, aren't they? Let's make a movie kind of like that. Or like, let's make this movie with like weird kung fu stuff. Or let's make this movie about Ozfest versus Warped Tour.
That's probably the most like heartfelt thing anyone in that class made. Ozfest versus Warped Tour.
Well, there was that one movie I made that like mysteriously I lost the tape to it. I'm not too sure, but it was called Jesus and Muhammad Strike Back. And so, like nowadays, you can't even shoot something with Muhammad on it. Well, I took RJ, our Asian friend, and I wrapped a pair of jean jackets around his head like a turban, and he was Muhammad. So we were shooting literally
we got to
Muhammad.
a tan kid in this town. Here you go. You're Muhammad.
So, you know, go figure. There's places out there that people get killed for drawing a picture of Muhammad. We were shooting an entire movie with a live action Muhammad in it.
Didn't he have like? I mean, I'm not trying to like fucking like make it worse. Didn't he have explosion powers like Voltorb or something?
I want to say he did, and it, obviously he's always wearing like Metallica or an Ozfest T-shirt of some sort the whole time.
Jesus was just a dirty hippie, wasn't Jesus? Just a dirty hippie that did nothing.
Yep, that played by me. So, you know, because I once again that tape got stolen somehow, and I don't know like if there must have been some kid in there who was like, "This is wrong," and then like I'm gonna just step forth and take action. Because next thing you know, that movie would have been, well, this is before YouTube still, so there would have been no way to really upload it, but like, God forbid, put that up online.
Brandon, the guy that was just like me playing a fucking Nazi in the other movie, played a character named Schmittler, the ultimate German. He did not have a filter. Keep in mind, this when we're 15, 16, and just like, it's offensive, so it's funny. Throw it in there. Nothing's going to happen to us.
I remember in Jesus and Muhammad, I want to say there was like a sex scene in there. Obviously, didn't show anything, but it was just like, go in that like tent, just shake it around. You guys just scream at the top of your lungs. Oh, okay. Like, why not? Like, nobody's going to... Where are you going to show this at? Well, I'm going to show it at school, so nobody's going to care. It's Mr. Campbell's class. He's like the coolest guy ever.
And that's right. When like, okay, so the administration giving the tour of the day, like, here we go. So we got this class. Oh, you see the shit, the fucking sex scene.
Just like a camera down and stuff. Well, I remember one time filming a scene for a movie that we had called like Sugar High, and I was in the bathroom, and it was like RJ and Brett Bencooler were making like a drug transaction of like candy, and all of this is some dude walks in and looks and just sees like, he doesn't see anything else but like me with a camera like facing into the stall.
He just turn around and leave.
Does not see. He hears voices, but he does not see the other two, and he just walks in, pauses for a second, and turns around and walks out. Like, he was not going to have part of that.
Oh boy, you never told me that story.
Yeah, I don't think I ever did, because that was one of those movies I made a little bit later on. But it's funny because, like, you know, the one thing that's really good about making movies in high school is that is like the time where you have so much freedom to make all these errors, but none of them are errors to you. Like, but you sort of like, it's like the greatest learning curve that you think the possibilities are endless. And though that you really are as like low as possible on like the movie making spectrum, you don't think that. So you just kind of make shit for no real reason, and you kind of learn from it. And you make almost like a bunch of shitty films. Yeah. But they almost are like your like educational bedrock.
Yeah, and there will be that thing where people will be like, dude, your movie's an hour and a half long, but you take it very, even as stupid, and as stupid as as all the movies were, as stupid as they all were, you would get very defensive. Like, I'm trying to say something with this movie, man. You don't get it, you know? So you make a fucking hour-long movie, by you, I mean me. You make an hour-long movie
Hour and 40 minutes long.
I'm thinking the worst one was about an hour. The hour and 40-minute one was actually a little bit of an upgrade, but the hour one is the worst one ever made. And like, where it's just kind of like a bunch of kids out in the woods filming shit. They watched a lot of anime, played a lot of video games. At some point, they sword fight. A song by Disturbed plays in the background while they sword fight.
Well, the funny thing too is that like the longer your movie was, it felt like it was more. The production was better. You were closer to making a feature film if you could get it that far up. If you made an hour and 40-minute movie, even if there was just like you just didn't edit anything out, you just left everything in, that was considered almost like better. Right? The longer your film was, the better it was. Which really you kind of go like, probably if I would have just taken all the best scenes and cut it down to a 20-minute movie, or even less than that, we probably would have had something good on there, but instead you just left everything.
I remember I made like this movie. It was basically a ripoff of the Blair Witch Project, which I wasn't a diehard fan of Blair Witch or anything. It was whatever. It was just the movie. It was just easy to do.
It was the whatever project.
It was easy to do just because we lived out in the woods. We had a camera. We were 3 guys. Easiest thing to make aside from fucking gay porn. So we're just like, all right, we'll just do a comical version of the Blair Witch Project, and we'll just throw some dumb jokes in there. And it was like 15 minutes long, and people laughed and people liked it. Then.
So you thought you
did something right.
It's
like, guess what? The second one, it's going to have some kung fu fights. There's going to be metal by Disturbed. We're going to have like 5-minute monologues by one guy who's good at improvising because none of us improvise. This guy improvises a lot, and we find it funny. And, so...
I always think that's like the thing, too, is like the long improvised scenes are always the things that... At the moment, they seem like the greatest idea ever because you're like, dude, this guy is golden, man. He can talk for 5 minutes long. Like, dude, that's 5 minutes closer to getting this to a feature-length movie. And you realize you're like, no. God forbid you have anybody sit there and improvise. Like, that's like the worst thing. I've learned that, like, improvisation is like the worst thing. Improvisation is like the worst thing you can do to have these characters just talk for long. It's like later on in life, I'm just kind of like, no, stick to the script. Don't go off farther. Do not make it longer than it needs to be.
I mean,
there's a reason why we have scripts.
Depending on what it is, I think you do a little bit of improvisation, but not as long as we did it. Like, what do you really? I mean, I'm not trying to be a dick here. I'm sure there are kids out there who can have some shit to say at age 15 or 16. Looking back though, I really didn't. Even though I thought I did, which was, isn't fucking kung fu cool with swords?
Yeah, come on, man. We want to make movies. It's going to be like, it'll almost open up with
like the Matrix. We'll make it like the Matrix. Yeah, Matrix in the woods. So.
Yeah, with our fucking tripod guns and everything, because they won't allow us to carry real guns.
Yeah, because we use the tripods. If you fold the tripod in a particular way, it would look like a gun. It's like, you would just rather than use it what it was made for, we'd use the tripod like a prop, like it was a sci-fi gun.
It's that sort of thing. We probably should have used a tripod to like make the shots look steady and nice, but it's like, no, man, dude, that'll be like our gun. It's like a gun from the future. It's like something the Terminator.
And then what's this one? Oh, well, this is like it's gonna be like a sniper rifle. We extend the legs out. There we go.
Which really, from like a distance, you're like, I can believe that, but now it's kind of it's like it's a fucking tripod right there.
No, back in.
But sometimes you got to kind of like work with what you can, man, because you can't bring a gun to school.
No, you shouldn't. We just like we learned the last few days in the news.
Yeah, as I said, like sometimes I always feel like if they would have just checked our like movie bags one of these like on one random day, like we could have been in that same predicament. Obviously, we didn't have a plan. We were just like, well, we were going to shoot a movie that had action scenes like after school, but we just happened to put a couple BB guns in our bag and.
No, yeah, because we did actually bring like a BB gun to school with the intention of not even using it there. Just I was going to your place afterwards, so I just brought it with me. So
Well, that was the type of where like you didn't like question it. Like you put like a knife in your bag. I was like, what? Like, well, I don't know. What if I need to whittle some wood later?
We went through. We checked through the bag. This is what we found: a knife, a BB gun, some Judas Priest patches, werewolf gloves, and an afro wig.
And a VHS tape that just said, Jesus and Muhammad strike back, take 10.
We believe this is a religious cult we're dealing with. And it's starting right here in your school. It's the seed. We gotta stop it before it begins to root.
Because plus, too, like, people that made movies, like, nowadays, I think it's a little bit more understood, but strange enough, for the fact that movies were around for 100 fucking years, people still never got it. It never crossed their mind. So if you told people, like, when you were a kid, like, yo, man, what do you do? Like, well, I make movies. They'd look at you like pornos? It's like, no, dude, like, fuck. You go to the movie theaters, right? Yeah. Like that. That's what I'm fucking talking about. And they'd be like, no, dude, nobody makes those. Those come from, like, aliens from outer space. What are you, fucking idiot? Like, Steven Spielberg's not a real person. He's an alien. Like, fuck, that's why he's so good.
When I was
and you'd be like, it's like, dude, real people make that shit, you know? They gotta start somewhere.
I was a little kid, like a really little kid, I just thought movies came out of nowhere. I wasn't aware that these are things people made. And of all things that to teach me that these are made by people, it was Arnold Schwarzenegger. Because I remember I wasn't the brightest kid. I'm still not going to say I'm the brightest adult. When I was a kid, I just thought these are things like God gave this to us. It's just a thing. It just these things appear in the box that talks to me. Okay, that doesn't hear me, but just shows me stuff. Okay, you know, I was just this kid that just thought, okay, this just comes out of nowhere, you know. And I remember what I learned was like my aunt showed me like, oh, we got this movie. You think you like Kindergarten Cop? Like, oh, that's the Terminator. The Terminator's in this movie. Well, kind of. He's not the Terminator, but you're just like, wait, but that's the Terminator. It's not the Terminator. I'm like, okay, and I put it on. I'm like, that's the Terminator, but he's not a robot. He's got to be. I thought for the first hour of the movie, I was watching like I thought I was waiting for him like to turn into a robot or something. I really thought I was watching like the third Terminator when I first saw Kindergarten Cop, and then I just paused it and I asked like, this is, then they explained to me, okay, so you know like how they explained to me how movies work, my aunt did. Like, these are people playing pretend. That's like, that's what all movie, my mind was blown. So like, the Terminator's real then? Oh, he's not, his name's Arnold, but yes, he is real.
Just all brought forward in one moment, just like, I'm not too sure if I ever had that moment where I was like, wait a second, these things aren't real. Like, if I did, I just don't remember it.
I knew it wasn't real, but I thought it was just stuff that came from just Jesus or whatever. I don't know. I wasn't born religious, but I wasn't raised religious really, but it was just, these things just came out of nowhere. I was like, I wasn't the brightest kid. I was in the first grade where I learned, oh wait, these are all, these are made by people.
Yeah, somebody's gonna make them, but it's funny, like, because it used to be that like amateur filmmaking was you were just treated like such crap. Like if you played music, people thought you were great. Oh, well, Billy over there plays guitar. People love the hell out of him, but fucking video making faggots over here jerking off in the corner, bunch of nunchucks and shit. Like they literally treated people that made videos like such shit.
Yeah.
In fact, they told you depressing stories that you were going to go to Montana and be gay and get killed by a bunch of rednecks.
Keep that in mind, Billy. My name's Spencer. Oh, it's Billy in here.
Why don't you play guitar? You know, I do play guitar. Why don't you play guitar? It's like,
just have another response.
But I do. Yeah, but you know, play that nice folk music that everybody seems to like. You know, the easy listening stuff.
Toby Keith, or you know, some of that good old boy stuff.
Yeah, good old boy stuff. Stuff that's not offensive and
Earl
makes people want to feel
Jennings,
good about
maybe.
stuff.
Actually, I like Earl Jennings. I can't really complain about Earl Jennings.
You know, none of this like Ozfest versus the Warped Tour bullshit that I keep hearing you guys yammer on every fucking day. At the top of your lungs.
Well, I'm surprised that video. Well, they found that video production still goes on. It's a lot more maintained. Just like, okay, we're doing a genre, or we're focusing on this. Here are your limits. Where before it was like, I actually had one of those like one time I went to It's a Film Festival, and I presented Drunk Batman, and the guy that went on right after. Well, first off, there was a guy who made this kind of like psychological drama horror movie. I think it was called Broken Glass, and you know it was a student film, but I will say it was probably had a lot more to say than what anything we had to make back then, you know, and it was pretty intense and pretty dramatic, and you know it was still independent, you know, high school film, but it was like, oh wow, you actually did pretty good for what this is right here, you know?
You didn't make like a dumb like parody of Star Wars,
like fart noises every 5 seconds. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, or you used your one like lightning effect off iMovie to like.
Yeah, exactly. Use that for everything. Yeah, and so he actually made something with some substance to it. And then I remember going up because he was part of the multimedia film program which was back in Somerville High back then. This kid's.
You come up with your eye patch on and you're like limping with your cane and everything. You're like, we started that program, boy. Me and the boss.
Like Master Mill. Or just like I have like a scar down my lip. I'm like the guy from Platoon, like, fuck y'all know about death.
Yeah, like, where's my fucking nunchucks? I don't have them. Somebody's got them. You start pushing them over. Tell me where the fucking nunchucks are.
You're so lucky. We weren't allowed to do that. Our movies were about fart noises. And Jesus Muhammad.
What is this artsy bullshit you have? You got something special to say, boy?
Well, no. What ended up happening because he's probably he's had to graduate by this point, but because when I went, it was kind of funny. Oh, it was sort of sad.
It was funny. He moved to Montana.
Oh, no. Oh. It was sort of funny and sort of sad at the same time. So somebody would ask me a question, somebody would ask him a question. We were both, because our movies were in the same block, so it was a Q&A, me and him. And people were saying, so Ryan, what was it like making this drunk Batman movie? Well, we just burst out doing these drunk Batman outfits, that's probably what it sounded like. Just like, and then to go over him, well, what inspired me from this movie is I tried to commit suicide at one point and survived, and da-da-da-da-da, and then goes back to, so Ryan, who does the voice of Batman? I do Batman, goes back to him. Well,
he's like, well, I saw these movies, I got these early reels from what multimedia was, and what I saw in it was a guy with a speech impediment on a motorcycle, a bunch of kids yelling about some concert that we never saw, and a rare tape of actually had footage of Muhammad dressed as with a jean jacket over his head, and I think he was Asian. And I decided that I needed to make something that was worthwhile for this school.
There I am bouncing up and down next to him like a fucking video game character.
Yeah, just like your arms going up and down like an old like Mickey Mouse cartoon.
Yeah, like a 1920s black and white one, just like dancing in place, Yeah. No, then because he actually had some pretty good answers. Like, so what were some of your main inspirations? Oh, well, I like a lot of Darren Aronofsky stuff, Chris Nolan, David Lynch, da-da-da-da. Goes me, Ryan, so what was some of the inspirations you had for Drunk Batman? Oh, fucking South Park, 90s cartoons, cow and chicken, So, Nick Nolte.
You just got to see like this lost 90s child and this like fucking like 2000s kids just stand next to you like all serious and shit. Sometimes though I would see those kids who would make those kind of artsy like student pictures, and I always just kind of look at those people like, come on, be real. That's not who you are. You're just trying to copy somebody else. Like I'd always have like that like feeling like those don't feel real. They feel like you're trying. It's almost like when people make like, sometimes I'll look at some animations and they just look like you just made that just to try to win an award. It just doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel heartfelt. Even if the movie tries to, make those connections and make people go, oh, I feel kind of sad, or I feel like that. It's like, I look at him and I go, no. This guy he tried all the things just to say how to pull the right strings. It's almost like cheater pictures. They just didn't feel like they came from the heart or they came natural.
Well, I will say that I can honestly say what this guy made did seem. And I'm not saying you're talking chum, this guy in particular. I'll say what this guy was making was trying to be sincere, something where I'll say he was trying to be. But there are other things though where I think I see what you're saying. There's some like the more artsier kind of. I think that's the problem with short films. In short films, let's be honest, we're not good at short films because we make ongoing series, because we were raised more on
feature-length
films and like continual TV shows. So when we make something, we try and encompass a whole story. So I'll say that a short film is a little harder to get in there. In a short film, a lot of times I think there's two things you kind of relying on. You're relying on how, let's say just animated short films for a second. Is it Actually, no, let's go all short films here.
Yeah, they're all the same anyways.
You're relying on something because I think the ones that are trying to be emotional, I think you're relying on something either just visually interesting, and on top of that, something just
simple.
emotional at the very end, but it all has to come up and build up to the end. You know what I mean? It's kind of like almost a shocker or a stinger. That's what most shorts seem to be. It's always kind of some kind of twist. Like I think when you watch a short film, most of the time you're not always watching it for a story. You're more watching it just strictly for, at least animation. I think you're mainly watching it just for visual stuff. Because there's one I saw. I mean, I could think of some that I saw and actually genuinely liked on all levels. There are others I saw though that were just there's this one claymation one where it was this weird looking kind of robot stuffed animal rabbit thing in this steampunk looking garage, and it had this hourglass going, and it was short on time, and you saw it quickly trying to make this other robot. It was a boy robot making a girl robot. Made the girl robot, then it was all happy and relaxed. Like, then all of a sudden, the hourglass runs out. It falls apart and dies. And now the girl robot's left with all the same parts. So it's a continuous cycle. So the story right there, it's kind of like, whatever. You know, it's kind of clever. But it's more like the visuals is kind of what was trying to bring you in. And I feel like
ours is always the exact opposite. It's like if our animations were silent pictures, you'd be like, "What the fuck's going on?" They're just talking, but I don't hear the words. Because ours are all like mostly like generally dialogue based and story based.
Silent
and
picture.
character.
There'd be like 3 minutes of just like the audio
words
of the stills. Like,
yeah. Because ours are mostly always ones like everything's like character based, but everything's mostly talking character based and so on. We don't. Like, we've never made one of those, like, artsy Pixar ones where it's just, like, some little, like, inanimate object fucking running around, making little noises, but never saying anything and trying to be cute and shit.
I'll say this. I think there are some genuine, like, some of those type of shorts can be genuine and can be good. There are some I do like. But a lot of them do seem just be kind of pulling on some heart. Just trying to, like, I'm trying to think of one, like that one I just named off was kind of whatever to me. I thought the art direction was kind of cool, but I mean, the story itself was like whatever, just your standard kind of short. There's one I liked where I think it was called Black Bible something. Maybe it was like Black Bible Blues, or I mean, I'm trying to remember what it was called. And it was like this hangman. It was like they all looked weird. It had this weird cell shaded look. All the characters looked ugly and nasty, like ugly as fuck. And it was this little western town. And is it like, I think it's like Blackwater Gospel. I think that's what it's called. Blackwater. I think that's what it's called. And there was actual audio and dialogue in the thing. And it's this town that's always on edge. And this like hangman, this like gravedigger just comes to town. Like when this gravedigger comes down, people are gonna die. And, you know,
not like the cool gravedigger, like the monster truck.
No, just this gravedigger. Well, no, I think you might like this one. Plus, it's also anti-religious, so another thing.
That's a bonus.
Yeah. So and plus there is there's the town's basically ran by the preacher, and the preacher's like, oh, we got to barricade ourselves and everything in this town, it's this guy, you know, he's just this preacher just spreading all this hate, like he's coming for one of us, and like, you know what, he's coming for that one guy he's the one guy that doesn't show up for church, he's the homeless guy. So they all go up, they kill him, but then someone in the process accidentally gets whacked in the face and killed, and then the preacher pulls a gun out of his Bible and just starts shooting people, you know, everyone just attacks each other. Everybody just starts fucking killing each other. It's violent. And it's like this 3D/2D cel-shaded look to it. It's really fucking cool looking. And then it just leads to the point where everybody's dead. And then the gravedigger gets up, starts measuring the bodies, and starts digging. So all he has to do is show up, and they're going to kill each other. And that's how he works.
Huh. Well, that sounds like a pretty interesting one.
And that was like a 10-minute one. And that one was actually pretty. It was Blackwater Gospel is what that one was called. And that one, like, so there's ones like that, like, okay, that actually managed to, it was a lot of talking, but it managed to fit a lot in there. I think it's one of the ones where there's like very little, I think the ones that have very little dialogue are the harder ones to do, because you can do some good ones, but I think that it's not always their fault. It's just the medium. Just sometimes it comes across as pretentious. Maybe it's not.
Yeah, I'm preachy, and
because
like,
there's so
whenever
much,
I think it's those ones like they work great the first couple times you see them. but it's hard to do it again because every single time somebody does one like that, it just feels like it just looks like those old Pixar ones from like the 80s and whatnot. That you're like, dude, I've fucking seen this shit before. Like, make something original. Like, they did it already. Like, you gotta do your own thing.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's why they're mainly relying on interesting visuals for all these kind of animations like that. Because there's one I saw that was like, I mean, it's like, I understand that you're kind of like limited to it. There's this one I saw where it was this person where it was like the animation was beautiful, but it was this person who would kind of like breathe life into bubbles, and then that thing would come to life. But then like they would keep on dying. So then she had to breathe all her life into this bubble and then die so this one thing could live, you know? So that kind of like, it just seems, I know they're not trying to be, and someone probably worked their ass off for it because the animation was beautiful, but it just did seem very kind of, it seemed pretentious, you know?
Well, there's two types of animations out there, I notice. I mean, there's more on this, but there's really, when it comes down to those short ones, there's animators, or there's artist animations, and then there's writers animations. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause ours will feel like they're writers animations. We write, like our content, it wouldn't be good if it wasn't for the writing. You know, because our animations, like, it just kind of backs up the writing. Where a lot of people,
good enough.
Yeah, where a lot of people, like, they rely almost all on their animation. They just realize that their writing doesn't have to be that great because their animation's better.
Yeah. So. Like, here's one I saw. There was one I saw at a film fest one time where it was more cute and cuddly, and I guess it was, you know, once again, one of those things someone worked on. You saw like these two like bears. It was like two big bears trying to cross a log, but then like they just weren't budging or anything, and they're just kind of getting each other's way. Like, fuck you too. Don't say that because there's no audio. But that's basically
if it was like that, it'd be bear. Like, fuck you, man. Fuck you, bear.
And then they both kind of fall, and then they kind of have to grab onto each other and kind of make like a bridge, just kind of holding on to each other for dear life. And then there's like a cute raccoon, and a cute rabbit that got bullied on earlier on in the movie. They both cross, and they both kind of meet in the middle. Like, then one of them kind of gestures, after you. No, then thank you. Walks by. The end.
And then one of them plants a thing of C4 down and just flips the bird off at the bears. Be like, fuck you for bullying me.
2 minutes to Midnight by Iron Maiden starts to play.
Yeah. I think that's the one thing. It's just like, I've never been like an artsy person, so whenever I see art, it's just like, it's always those kind of things where it's just like, you know how this could be better? like I want a little bit of rock and roll in my picture, you know what I mean? I want some excitement. I want them to fucking feel it, you know?
I want something to get fucking punched.
Yeah, throw some punches. Throw Batman in there. You can always throw a punch.
Yeah, you know, I think. I mean, I'm not going to try and totally blame people. I think sometimes just like, look, this is mainly I'm just trying to show how good my animation is. I think that's sometimes what the purpose of it is, and it's just I think it's a hard medium to tell like a really good story. I mean, it can be done, but it's just hard to do. I mean, I don't know how to fucking do it. Clearly, I don't.
No, clearly we don't, because everything we make always ends up being fucking 10 minutes long, so it doesn't help.
Hey, I wrote this out. I'm guessing how long do you think it is? I think we're looking at 3, maybe 4 minutes. Yeah, you're probably right. 3 to 4 minutes.
When I get then you ask me like way down the road, like when you get close to the end of that animation, yeah, but it's gonna be 9 minutes long.
Oh wow, I should have done some more backgrounds.
Well, you know, that's mostly what always seems to happen. But yeah, the shorts. Funny how school shooting led to us like, let's talk about ourselves making movies. Do. School shooting. 200 episodes.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna lie, this is a little bit of a vanity episode, but it's 200. Fuck it. This is for me. Fuck it. We got here. We can fucking talk about ourselves for an episode. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. God damn it.
Yeah. Well, you know, if people have been listening this long, then I guess they probably know what to expect.
Exactly. Yeah. Probably a good place to wrap it up at. We're getting close to the 2-hour mark.
Before we do go though, just to end on, because I guess this is episode 200, but I guess, you know, we've been here for a while, but I just want to thank all the listener. First I want to thank a lot of like, we've made contact with some other podcasts recently, like Casa Mirth. They've been kind of plugging us a little bit here and there. Paint It Black has always been really awesome to us and always been like plugging our spot. We really got to make a new spot soon.
Arnold Radio News
has always been pretty cool to us. the Rob and Slim show. I was on there a little bit ago. They were really cool. They've been kind of like giving us shout outs on Twitter and all that. So, just thanks to all those other shows, been kind of like looking out for us. And then also, most of all, thanks to all our listeners for just hanging in there, especially on this episode. We're just fucking bitching assholes talking about ourselves for the last half.
We use a school shooting at our own school just to go, yeah, remember when we used to make movies? Yeah, that was cool.
I didn't mean for it to go there. I really didn't mean for it to go there. I just went there. Halfway through talking about the school shooting, like, this should go, man, this isn't funny. Where was I going with this? I just thought I should bring it up because it was relevant. Then you're like, remember movies? Oh, right, we made fucking movies. Right, okay, so, yeah. Yeah, so good save on that. But just thank you so much to all the listeners who have tuned in this long. I'm sure we got some new listeners too in this, but just thanks for hanging in there and watching all these episodes. Every view I see, every favorite we get, just kind of makes me a bit happier.
Yeah, I have to say thanks for everybody listening and so on. And you guys got any ideas for if you go like, hey, that same format you've been doing where you guys just do the whatever variety show of God knows what's going to happen each week. If you want to say, hey, like, you know what we miss having those retrospects, because you know what, I miss doing one of those retrospects. We haven't done one in like 50 episodes or something like that. And those were always kind of fun to have just one topic where you really get to dive into something like, I like this one video game series or director or whatnot. We used to do those like every couple weeks or so, but then for some reason they kind of fell on the buy side. But maybe we should bring some back to that.
Someone asked Spencer to do it so he can feel justified in doing it.
Yeah, exactly. That, or, seems like the ones that have always been kind of popular too is when we do our movie commentary ones. We got to kind of do a little bit more of those. But it's kind of fun to break it up. And then the other goal I think we kind of have, we were talking like, after episode 200, what should we do? We should get some more guests back on, because it seems like it's that thing where you get kind of like, it's not like you get lazy. It's more like when other people kind of go like, oh, well, I can't do it this day. I can't do this day. And after that happens about 3 times, you just kind of go, fuck it. I'm not going to ask anybody anymore because they're always fucking busy and hard to get a hold of. So then you end up just not having guests or whatnot. You're just like, we just do it ourselves. That's kind of like how animation happened for us. We were doing live action movies, and then when people kind of kept like flaking on us, we're like, fuck it. Guess what? Animation. You know what? I need another character. I fucking draw the character in there, and then I voice it myself. So fuck you.
I actually I never said that to Nora or Kyle, but they just get busy. I know that is, but no.
Well, I wasn't thinking really Nora or Kyle. It's just
other folks.
Yeah, just sometimes it's always one of those ones, like whenever you wanted, like, that's the same thing I always feel about like when making movies. It was always like to shoot one scene that you happen to have these other actors in. It was always such a hassle that almost just didn't make it worth it. It was just that, and that's kind of how I feel sometimes in the podcast. You can't ever just call somebody and go, hey, you want to come by and podcast? Sure. It's never like that. It's always like, well, maybe not today, but maybe tomorrow at this time or that time. You say, oh, okay.
I'll say one reason why where we probably haven't done our crossover with Bold and Belligerent, or I talked to Rob and Slim about possibly having one of them or both of them come on at some point, or maybe one of the other guys on their shows. That would be. I think the only reason stopping us from that is just for how shitty both of our Skype connections are. Because I'd hate to be doing those shows and have it cut out. So I want to make sure I'm somewhere with a good connection before we do that. Because we've talked to those guys about possibly doing it. Not saying for a fact they're all going to happen. I really want them to happen. It's just a matter of going somewhere with a good Skype connection.
Yeah, that's always kind of been the thing. Because I even see it when other people do podcasts where they do kind of like some crossover ones, and you can see the quality starts to go down when they got 4 or 5 people on, and it's like it's always kind of the downfall. It's just like that internet science just kind of has a hard time handling it. But gotta just try it out at some point, just see what happens.
We'll have to do it. Just jump in balls first, see what happens.
Yeah, if anything's gonna happen,
be playing Boulder Dash. Be like, I'm sorry, Luke. Can you repeat that? I had the all staticky
just echoes, and I can't tell what's going on. But yeah, well, if anything's gonna happen, it's gonna happen out there, boss. But till then, check out our podcasts and animations and all that good stuff at oldmanorange.com. You can send us an email at oldmanorangepodcast@yahoo.com. If you're going to buy anything on Amazon, you can use one of our links either on our website or in the description section of the podcast. Whether or not you buy what's there, as long as you just use that to get into Amazon, that can help out a little bit. So till then, till episode 201, which is what we're at on the time right now, I'm Spencer Scott Holmes.
I'm Ryan Dunigan.
And we'll see you some other time.
See you later, and thanks again, folks.
Thanks for listening to the Old Man Orange Podcast. Check out our website at oldmanorange.com for even more podcasts, cartoons, videos, music, and more. Send us an email at oldmanorangepodcast@yahoo.com. Be sure to subscribe, share, rate, and review us on iTunes, Podomatic, or any of the other fine sites we might be located on. If you want to help out even more, click on the Amazon or GameStop links on our webpage before you make any purchases there. It won't cost you a penny, but it sends us a little something our way. Thanks again, and tune in next week for more Old Man Orange Podcast.